And LD, we did a podcast together. He's a great player, a great guy. And attackfortwo, I don't know. The most of you should know him, but attackfortwo and I have a really special relationship because we respect each other really much, but there's no way we have the same opinion about a card. And that's the funny thing about a tier list, because he will tell me why I'm stupid and I will tell him why he's stupid. And that should be very entertaining for you. And no, they assist me here to maybe get some new views on a card that I overlook or something. And I think we won't lose any more time. We start. The problem is, chat, I have no order. These cards are random. And in the end, we see all cards. How we voted them.
Thinking maybe we start in descending rarity order. So like start with the legendaries.
No, it's random order. We couldn't
Completely
change
random.
it. Yeah.
Oh, you
Okay.
can't grab can't grab which ones you want to start with.
No, I can't.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm sorry. So, or can I? No, I can't. Here's the order. Oh. I mean, I could start with the legendaries, but I have to pick them up. We could start with the legendaries. No, just do it in order. Let's start with this. Sugar Rush Speedway. What do you think? I think it's could be some combo potential in the future, but
Yeah.
I don't see it now.
Yeah, to me this looks like a combo piece for a combo that's like not complete yet, right?
Yeah.
This is the kind of thing that you keep in mind that it exists for when another piece that completely breaks the game is printed. But for now, I don't really see. I've not spent a long time thinking about it, to be fair, but I'm not sure I see this doing a whole lot right now.
Four.
Why would you ever play this over Voyage?
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
Which is inkable and moves two characters in the same
That's
turn.
a really good question. Maybe because you can repeat.
Well, this is only once per turn. Per character.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, good question.
Oh yeah, it's got the condition of once per turn. So yeah, it's not even a combo piece. Really? Okay, I hate it.
Yeah, this is one of the worst cards.
Let's do it. Let's do a 3, maybe. I mean, it's no 1 for me. They're worse cards, I think. Or do you say it's a 1?
I would be harsh on this one and give it a 1.
Hey, really? Okay.
Yeah,
attackfortwo spoke. Next one is this little bear.
I mean, I don't know what your first thought is. Like a 2/1, 2 lore, 2 drop is fine. It's below rate, kind of. For, most colors have a 2 lore, 2 drop, 2/2 now. But this ability is only going to be good if there are a bunch of effects in this set that reduce lore and lead to you losing lore. If those are playable, maybe you look at this. But I'm not high on this sort of card.
I mean, it's not super bad.
Too fragile.
Yeah, maybe. I think it's not playable right now. But is not playable immediately a 1? No, Sailor, you're just in time.
I don't think anything that's inkable can be a 1.
Yeah,
I agree.
And also, I don't think an inkable character can be like any worse than a 4.
Yeah. That's reasonable. Four. What was the first? The first idea I had.
I could stretch to a 5. It's just so medium. It depends. We're gonna have to find our levels with each other of what
Yeah.
a 5 actually means to all of us, but it's so fine, isn't it? You're never really putting it in a constructed deck a lot of the time.
I can go with the
it does
5.
the job.
5 is okay. So then there is the reindeer. Let's don't talk about this too much. It's a 4 or 5. I mean,
Well, we can go lower than that. I think this is a
Yeah.
worse card, noticeably
Yeah,
worse
yeah,
than
yeah.
that. The card we just
let's do a
reviewed.
3. I don't want to
Yeah.
waste too much time on those cards. What's this? Schatz, wie hast du das sortiert? Oder was hast du gemeint gerade?
Findest du die schneller auf der anderen Seite, wenn die bei den anderen gelben sind?
Hier.
Ja.
Wie kann ich da nach Gelb suchen?
Nein, du klickst auf gelben drauf und machst die zuerst.
Ach so, yeah, let's do the yellow. Yeah, that's true. I'm so dumb. Let's do the embers first. Ember first. We have this invite. Oh, I forgot about this card. Invited to the ball. That's not super bad. Oh, I totally
not a
forgot
bad
about
card.
this card. I totally forgot. I mean, is it playable? Probably not.
It's gonna
Me-
really. Sorry, go
This
ahead.
is just for at this point in the game, your uninkable slots have to be
Yeah.
very valuable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
completely
this
agree.
is just like below the bar that I would consider.
Yeah, this is at its best in a Mufasa style deck that's just rammed to the gills with characters, right? And those decks are all they're already constrained on uninkables. They're
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
working at their limit.
This
So
is not
what are you
playable.
cutting to make room for
Yeah.
this?
This is not playable.
But it's not it's not bad. It's like another
It's not terrible,
5
but
or
it's not good.
4.
4 is good. I
Yeah,
can live
4
with the 4.
maybe. It's
It
hard because
probably
we've got
makes you build better limited decks.
yeah. I mean, you avoid traps
Right.
by just putting characters in your deck, which is going to make you win more games.
So now the other reindeer. What's this animal in English? I don't know. Moose. Moose, it's called.
Moose,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nobody's playing this.
Yeah, this is not a playable card. It's
do 2. Don't want to waste time on this. Oh, now it's the first really good card, I think. I think I'm higher on this card than the most people.
where do you put it?
I think this is really, really good.
I mean, it's a great card. It's a really cool, unique effect that Steel Song-esque shells can do some cool stuff with if they want to.
I'm pretty low on this one.
Really?
So this is, in my opinion, worse than Phil from set 4, and nobody's playing Phil.
That's a good parallel to draw, actually.
Nah, I think that's no, that's not that's something else. I mean, it's a song and not a character. So you can sing songs. You can. This is way better than Phil, Dave.
I would stretch to say it's a bit better than Phil. But I'm not going to go way better. I do see the parallel. It's like for the reason you just said as well. You can sing songs for free. You're not constrained on putting a bunch of heroes into play to get the same sort of effect. I would say it's a little better, but not a huge amount. So
So you don't think this will see play?
Oh, I think some people will try it. Some people will play
Yeah, I
builds
think
of this
people
for
will
a
try
while.
it.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be you're not putting any lower than the 6, but this is your tier list. We're advising.
I'm putting on a 7. 7 was my first.
Yeah, I could agree with
Whatever number is just below the playable number is where I would put this one.
that.
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, so Phil's on the fringe of playability. It's not because Brawl and Mufasa are ubiquitous in the format.
Okay, this is
Yeah.
one of the worst cards of the set, I think.
Yeah, this is terrible.
That's just a one. Or do you have something to add?
No. I'm ready to move on.
Soon it will be interesting. Soon it will be interesting. What happened now? Blast from the past. This could be really good. In the future, or maybe even not in the future, with I imagine something like broom decks, where you can put every broom. If I remember that correctly, you can just say magic broom and all magic brooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got a few cards in this set with support for like name-based,
yeah.
individual name-based decks. So I guess your best targets are Maleficents, Brooms, those sorts of things. It's a cool card. It's a shame that a lot of people saw Prince Naveen and were thinking, okay, now show me the big money 6-cost song that I'm going to play for free, and then it was this, which not great synergy with Prince Naveen's. But yeah, I think it's cool. If these decks come together, this is a unique effect, but it's not like something I'm rushing to build with.
This card can only be better in the future, I think. Such cards like this. If we can play a completely, I think in like 5 sets or so, we can play a completely Simba deck or something where all are Simbas,
sure.
and then I think it's I would say 6 for now.
Yeah, that was my instinct as well.
And Dave, you're lower on this, right?
I don't think it makes a cut today, but in a year from now, it's something to keep your eye on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just keep it in your binder and watch.
And now I think there can't be 2 opinions. Sadly, we will all agree, I think, that this is I mean, you could say 9 or 10, but I think we say it's a 10.
Yeah, I mean, we could debate if it's a 9 or a 10. I would say a 9 because
I would also say a 9.
It's an incredibly strong card, but it's like an incredibly strong proactive card for which counters sort of semi-exist. That if these Daisy decks become really prevalent, it's not massively. I mean, yeah, it's really hard to answer a 4 willpower character that's questing on turn 2, but things can adjust around it. A 10 for me is something that is absurdly powerful in a vacuum and almost unanswerable.
I mean, 10 for me is like meta defining, and this card is kind of meta defining a bit.
Yeah,
at least. So people
it's a
will
9+ for me.
Yeah, people will adapt just by this card existing, I think.
Yeah.
It's a 9 for me because you wouldn't play this in a control deck. Whereas, like,
that's true.
If you look, the 10s to me are like Foxes and Mauis and Hirams, where if you're playing that color, you're playing that card.
That's reasonable.
And I could build decks that didn't include this, like Mufasa or something.
That's reasonable. 9 is really good.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of that card over the next 3 months, unless it's really hated out of the format.
It's failed. Why was it? Wait,
you're only allowed to give it 10.
No. Okay. What do we have now? We have Gazelle. Oh, what's this? I don't know. I don't remember. That's Singer 5.
Yeah, so So this is
Gastor's better.
It's worse than Gaston.
It quests for 1 more than Gaston, but I think that's not.
Yeah, so I guess a lot of the time you are gonna just play Gaston over this because if you're playing this kind of card on turn 3.
And even Gaston will have a hard time in the future finding a spot in Steel Song decks, I think.
Yes.
It's not always whipping Ariel, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Um,
Yeah, but Sailor Quest for 2.
Coffin, I would say with 6, a card is playable with 6 starting. So this is a 2. I make it a 2.
2, that's unfair. Oh, it's got to be at least a 5.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
like,
sorry, too late.
Too late. It's too late. It's unplayable.
Too late, Gazelle. I'm sorry. Oh, come on. No.
Yeah, no, this is.
2.
They need to just.
Oh, what's going on?
You could argue that cards like this are like morally wrong to print because of the sustainability implications of putting that ink on cardboard. It's, you know.
Yeah, it's. Healing Touch sounds like the same bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a cantrip, I think. Yeah, it's a cantrip, but yeah.
I will say that it's really good that it's nice to see the sort of cantripping actions in this set.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen a bunch of these random things that do next to nothing, but at least a load of them in this set have draw a card stapled to them. That's a lot better. You could forgive a lot of sins for that, but still, this is not there. It's a 3.
Yeah, 3. Cantrips can't be worse than 3, I guess.
Yeah.
So this will be controversial, I'm really sure.
Yeah, let's have it. Let's fight.
Let's fight now, because I'm really high on this card, and this card is not talked about very much. I'm really high on this, and I think there will be decks that I think this is really strong, just by the fact that the cards doesn't get shuffled back like Chernabog.
Yeah.
You can, wow. I mean, you could. This is really strong.
I mean, I did take another look at this because this was spoiled early, right? This was spoiled early in the cycle, and everyone forgot about it. And I think a lot of people looked at it and said, "Okay, this has the number 9 in the corner and the number 3 in its strength, and dies to Medusa." And
yeah,
bad. I took another look when that Robin Hood was spoiled. You know, the one that looks at the top whatever of your deck and puts everything in the discard. You get to take something. I thought, well, what if we're filling our own yard with songs? But I don't know. I don't hate this card. This could be totally playable, but I'm not sure what to make of
imagine
it.
also some late game steals. I mean, in Steel Song, if you are wheeling, you fill your discard so fast with songs, and
yeah,
you could in the end game you could just slam 2 of this for 1 or something. I mean, it's not super likely, but
yeah. I mean, like you say, the key difference between this and Chernabog is the aside from having way lower strength, is the fact that it doesn't banish. It doesn't shuffle the songs back in. So you could get to a point where, I don't know, you're able to rebuy this from your discard pile
and
with some Hades-like effect, and you're just replaying them.
I think that there are many cards that maybe much synergies that aren't discovered yet. Like there are really a ton of cantrip songs, and so I think that this could be.
Yeah, I'm interested in this. But
yeah,
it'll take some thinking. It'll take some thinking to work out exactly where to put it, but it's an interesting card.
What do you say?
I think the first thing everybody would look at is A Whole New World, because that dumps a ton of stuff into the bin. I'm not so interested in that because all of the Steel songs that are playable are mostly uninkable, and now you're just like really crowding the uninkable slots.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. Yeah.
But something like Amethyst is interesting to me because it calls me and friends from the other side as cantripping, spin your wheels cards to go into the graveyard, and I could envision getting 4 or 5 songs into the graveyard and then playing 2 of these in
And
one
2 of
turn.
these, and then they get destroyed, and then you
Yeah.
play the 2-drop room and shuffle them back. Oh,
Or you play that one song and get all your Kristoffs back and play them again.
Yeah, nice.
I
I don't think it's
Now-
there yet, but I think
yeah.
it's close.
I think it's a
Now,
it's a 6 for me, 6 or 7.
yeah,
Six.
I would lean more towards 6. It's
6
cool.
is okay. I can
It's-
live with that.
I really like the idea of naming Kristoff with that 6-cost song, bringing back 4 of them and just playing them all for free.
Well, if
That
you
deck-
have
That deck would
If you
have
That's
like
really-
30
in your-
uninkables.
That's
in your graveyard, you get them all back and play 'em
oh,
for free.
I put it in 5.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
he's trapped there
sorry.
now. You can't play that
can't.
card.
I can't reconfigure. Christoph, I'm sorry. You're a 5.
Yeah.
So I think this is another card we won't talk too much.
Oh
No.
yeah, Lilo.
2.
Yeah, that's a 2.
Oh, this mini, I don't know what this mini does.
Someone from my locals roasting me in the chat.
Chat, do you know what
It heals when you do something. It heals 2.
when you quest, I think.
I think it's when you quest.
Yeah,
heals
yeah,
2.
yeah.
It's
Ah.
below rate in my opinion. Why would you play this over Rapunzel?
Yeah, it's not quite there.
2.
Yeah, we have to tag Sailor in for any cards in French.
So this Mickey Mouse is kind of interesting, but not good enough, I think. Where is he? It's a Minnie Mouse. Oh, sorry, I thought it's a Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
It's not good enough, I guess.
Yeah, all of these cards before, like I see why some people have been reasonably high on this and kind of excited about it, but all of these cards we've seen that have the condition when this is shifted, do this,
that's really
rather
hard.
than just do this. There's going to be so many times when you're not shifting this or you haven't got an ability to do it. You're looking at one in your hand and it's just a miserable 4/4 for 5. It's
bad. I think it's bad. When I think about it, it's even worse.
Yeah, it's like people want to play it in Mufasa, but then you flip it off of Mufasa and you don't get the effect when you do that.
Yeah, I mean,
Or
how conditional
I
is
will
this?
say,
How conditional is this to have a Mufasa on board and shifting then her, and then you get the Mufasa target? Yeah.
you can shift this onto Surfer Mini and make use of that terrible card.
That's
you
true.
shift it onto Surfer Mini and have a worse card on board than Surfer Mini. Whoop.
But you do get to pick your next draw.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, true.
I'm actually surprised that this is a super rare, but for now
Yeah.
it's
So let's
Yeah, got the-
4. I think it's a 4.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I think it's a trap. It's some people will try it, they'll find it to not be good.
Oh, now
Yeah,
now the problem starts. I think
I'll
one
put
of us will
myself on mute. You
one of
guys
us
can just
will
go at
rage quit now, I think.
I mean, this is a 2. This is actually worse than the mini we just looked at, and it's not like it's by a country mile worse.
Yeah, this is the best part of this card is that it's inkable. That's
I actually think it would be better game design if it were uninkable, because then nobody would play it.
we We're gonna give Artifact a chance to defend himself.
Okay, let me just try without convincing any one of you that I think this card is better than people think. Lorcana is a game where it's very easy to protect your characters by just don't questing, because obviously you can't challenge ready character. So stop before you and in an aggressive deck, there's always this spot like all of my characters quest once and then they die. So there is no need to quest early with them often. And that's why I think it's way more easy to get this condition done than people think, if you really want to. And I think one quest of her is decides the game. No matter what you say, I will brew with this, of course, because I just like the card. Yeah, I don't say it's good. I just like the card. And I will try to brew something with this. I think it's bad, I know, but I think that the argument, like if you have 5 or more characters, you have won either way, isn't correct regarding this card.
So my biggest beef with this, if you're on the play on your turn 5, you have drawn 11 cards, right? So now you need 5 ink, 5 characters plus Mirabelle, which means a single Let the Storm Rage on means you can't play this card. If you're on the play.
Yeah, that's why I think you need to play all this cantrip. I think it's only possible with purple, and I think you have to play it with all this Maleficence and maybe it's even the Gen Seeds or something like this. But I think you're right. My dreams are not fulfilling.
I think it's so laughably unplayable that this is going to be a point of contention between us for a long time. I'll let you do the testing with it, and then you can report back to me if it's good. Then I'll play it, but I'll let you work that out.
Out of respect. Oh God. Coffin. So, but this one, I'm confident, yeah, that this one is better than people say. This is overlooked. This is really good. Trust me. If you I think all these uninkable high stated cards are really good. I mean, how in the game like it exists now, how can you efficiently trade this? With a fox, yeah, but that's negative tempo because you bounce something. That isn't a rabbit yet. An inkable fox. Yeah, I mean you have to bounce your 2-drop to play the fox. I mean that's negative tempo. It's not a rabbit that you bounce on this spot. Sisu? Yeah, Sisu.
Yeah, this is like I do really like this. I do really like this overall trend of putting some overstated but uninkable cards in across the kind of curve. This is a cool card. It's definitely the sort of thing I could see myself playing at some point, but something has to really.
I think
it's gonna.
Just imagine your opponent plays this turn 3. I think you're really annoyed.
Yeah.
I mean, Sisu is an argument. That's true. Sisu is an argument. I have to give this to Sailor because that's really true. Sisu is way better than this, of course.
Yeah, it's certainly not a bad card, right? That Sisu that you're comparing to is amazingly efficient, but yeah, I'm happy with this at like a 6 or a 5.
6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. 6. I want to make it on the 6.
Yeah.
So the next or the locations, if I see that. Yeah. The Pride Lands. What do
Which
they
one's
say?
this? Oh, is this the one that brings something back?
Okay, that's so incredible bad. I can't even say how bad this card is.
It's interesting how bad you see this card as, that needs like 3 characters to live and a bunch of turns to move to a location, but you forgive everything for Mirabelle.
You have to move with every character here.
I mean, this
What
is just
the
a 381, right?
Yeah,
I mean, okay, it's a 381. Yeah.
Which is fine.
yeah, that's true. It's sort of, you can evaluate it on those grounds and it starts to look a little better. I don't, how bad can a 381 be?
So you paid 9.
Bring something back.
Ah, come on.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
it's
I just evaluate this without any text, right?
yeah, okay. Yeah,
So
genau.
5.
That's fine. Yeah, it's 4 or 5. 5
Yeah,
is okay for
fine.
me.
Yeah. We're gonna have to start blowing through these bad cards.
Yeah.
Okay, this
This is better than I
this
thought
is
it was
nonsense.
at first glance. I don't know how.
Ah. Nah.
I'm not
keeping
rushing to
my eye
play
on
with
this one.
this. Yeah, exactly. This is one to keep a watch on. There's the princess stuff is like it's nearly there, right? And this
Oh,
is
but it's so expensive.
I mean, there's a world in 1 year where this is like better than a flute, right? Because it's
yeah,
inkable.
yeah, completely. I agree.
Okay. A
It's
5.
yeah. For
Better.
now, I mean,
I will never put
I
this
could
higher
put it
than
at
5.
6.
No. It's my
Well-
stream.
Have you noticed that 7s and 8s don't exist, by the way?
Okay,
Cards are
this
either medium or great.
this card is also worse than people. I think some people are hyped on this, but I think it's not good.
To me, this is the same as Hidden Code, right? It's like a tech choice if you're in a steel heavy metagame and you need your characters to survive.
Yeah.
Doesn't like
Yeah,
help
you-
against the red cards, but
I mean, Cove was really in a really weird spot because it was just there to put Diablo out of the removal range of this existing card. This has to have a really that's really weird meta to make this playable.
yeah, I'm probably never playing this one myself,
No.
but I could see a
It's-
world where
I mean, some people
it
say
has
this
a-
is good against steel, but is it better than just playing another character? That's what I always think, Yeah, I mean, you
depends
can.
if you're
Yeah,
overextending into a sword or something. But
Sailor is high on this.
if Sailor's high,
I
on it,
mean-
it's probably good.
Sailor
I look
is-
at it as like there's some weekends where it might be right to have one or two of those in your
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's
exactly. It's like Cove in that regard. If there's sort of some problematic,
6.
or you're playing a deck that has to dodge really specific, in this case, steel removal, then you could put it in. Yeah.
Nala. I'm wondering if these characters are good enough.
No.
It's the first time we get them.
Yeah, I mean, assess these like the 1-cost 4 health locations.
Yeah.
I guess they looked like they had some promise that they
Yeah.
might be reasonable on turn 1 in some aggressive builds.
But
In reality, they get splattered by a.
hey,
Fox
Rupi,
and-
vielen Dank. Oh God, Coffin, Bizarre, Trapstar. Thank you so much for the subs. Oh my gosh, sorry, I didn't see it. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you really much.
What I'll say about these 0-4s is that they are more interesting if they have shift targets because like the goons can get baboomed or fire the cannons or whatever. So if you need a 1-cost shifter to stick around, these 0-4s are going to be better than like a 2-2.
That's really good. That's a really good
that's
argument.
a good point.
That's a really good argument. So I will
So
put it
for
on 3 or something like now.
Yeah, I mean Nala has no shift target, so until we actually get one that does that, it's got to be pretty low.
About this card, I was wondering.
Here we go. This is additional copies of Mufasa, as long as it's not your first copy of Mufasa,
Yeah.
and you don't want to benefit from any of your cost reducers, and you want to jam an extra uninkable into your deck. This is really bad. I think some people really like this. Some people seem high on this card.
It's better. It's better than a 5th Mufasa because you can choose. Sometimes maybe you pick something else, like a Rapunzel or something. But is it playable? That's the question. I mean, in other TCGs, in other TCGs, I played the revive cards were really strong, but it's 5 or less. You cannot cheat out something. I mean, if you could cheat, if you could discard a Chernabog and then play this or something, but you can't. So
reanimation strategies in most TCGs, they force you to put some stuff into your discard or your graveyard early, and then you play your reanimation spell, and you end up for going through those efforts. You're rewarded by able to bring something back like way ahead of curve, like a 7-drop on turn 3 or something, and then that's great, obviously. But this never rewards you in that way. I don't see what some people see in it. Yeah, I'm really low on it. It's like a 3 for me.
I put it in 4 now. It's Amber is nearly done. Sven is good.
Hard on Amber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sven is really good. I think Sven is fine. I'll show you.
I think Sven's like a 7 or an 8.
Yeah, I like this Sven.
Yeah,
this could be my first 7.
Yeah, Sven is really good. I mean, there's no downside on this card. It's just solid. It's just a better LeFou.
I mean, it does have the can't challenge condition, which is the others, like other effects like this have always just had the can't quest condition.
Yeah,
and that's a small consideration, but you're playing this towards the top of your curve in a aggressive deck, I suppose. A lot of the time,
it can ready Mirabelle.
3/3. It can ready Mirabelle. Sure. It can it can ready one of your other characters that you're keeping alive to play Mirabelle, so that you can quest for 1 before you play Mirabelle, and quest for 5, and supposedly that ends the game. But I don't know. I don't really.
I think 7 is fine for this card. 10, 9, 8, 7.
Yeah. Oh, singing. Obviously, it readies stuff that can. There's no can't sing condition. So yeah, there'll be cases for that.
Try everything. What was that again? I think also something with ready.
It's the same thing, but on a song. This one's unplayable.
This is way worse. Oh, this is so. Imagine you sing this with 1 character and ready itself. It makes much sense.
Combo. Keep going. Let's do it again. Sing all 4 in a row. Why not?
There's a 2.
Yeah, it's a 2.
Combo with your chicken guy.
2 is really good.
Yeah, I'm low on it.
So now I'm really sad because this is one of my favorite Disney characters. And first of all, yeah, I think the Goon is. I don't know if you want to rate the Goon.
It might be good for us to agree what number a Goon is.
It's a
4,
7 in my opinion.
7? Ah,
7. I was going to say 6.
6.
But-
Oh,
6 is
so
playable.
to me, I'm really only looking to if the bar for playable is 6, then a goon is a 6. But to me,
Okay,
I
yeah,
like
for sure.
looking to play 7s, so I put it as a 7. But really, right, the goon gets the same ranking as whatever you're
Mhm.
shifting into. Right, if you want the big shift character, you want the goon.
Yeah, we need to think a little bit about the shift target as well, because that will increase
Yeah, but that's
the value we
just
put on the
not good.
goon.
It's sad because, yeah, Vanellope is one of my favorite Disney characters and she's just bad.
Yeah. I mean, shifting big stuff on turn 2 is cool for singing things, but like the Queen does it so much better.
The Queen
and has a
does
more relevant effect.
the Queen does it really much better.
Yeah.
Got the
Don't-
Fox and Maui problem, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
completely.
even
Yeah,
then
2/4 was just look.
the effect is nothing. I really think someone is looking for really much. I don't know. Nah.
Yeah, someone in the chat makes a good point about you've got that effect on it for shrinking stuff.
For
There's
the
maybe
under the sea deck.
relevance for that under the
Yeah.
sea deck, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's something.
That you shift this
When you
turn 2,
play
then you play an
another
aerial.
character. I thought when you play her. Oh, that's even worse. Oh my god.
Yes, good. I thought you were going to say that's great. No, that's even worse. Yeah. Okay.
No.
Maybe not so
Two.
good.
2. And the third Vanellope is also not good, I guess.
I'm really low on this one.
Nah, it's just trash. This is really
Just
trash.
another 2.
It
Another 2.
it has the stats of a 1.
I kind of wish they would give characters with these middling abilities that don't really do anything just the same base stats as like a regular character.
That's true.
It's not worth a hit to the stats to give
This is
Yeah.
also
something -1. For
this is
character.
German. I don't know if you play this, you give someone -5 strength this turn. I don't know.
We already have that card in Scar, right?
Yeah, I was going to say it's a
Yeah,
Sapphire Scar
yeah.
from set 1.
I mean, in limited, this is really good. I think. But,
Yeah, it's a limited,
Yeah.
very playable limited card, and we'll never see playing constructed.
Yeah.
So a 3. Oh, now it gets controversial again. Controversial. Chat, don't hate me now, okay? Please. And don't think I'm a stupid.
Here comes the hot take.
Nine. I think this is, of course, not a really bad card. This is a good card. Yeah, chat, before you say something. But it's way worse than people think. I'm really sure. First of all, you can't play this 4 times. 2 or 3 times, I guess, maximum. Then it has the same problem for me than Jim Hawkins, that it's just a character. I mean, you think, you can play it for free, but you played this character, so you could most likely play the song by just not playing him. So it feels like sometimes really nonsense, I think, to play him. But Steelsong is another deck than the decks where Jim Hawkins was in.
It's obviously very powerful. In the same way that Jim Hawkins is, that's the right parallel to draw. This is, in a vacuum, a really powerful card, but it's hard to understate the impact that it being uninkable has, specifically when this is at its best in a Steel Song deck, and that deck is so tight on its uninkable slots. All of the songs that are absolutely essential to how the deck operates put a lot of pressure on that. But
for example,
I'm still hopeful that this is really good, and there'll be a good application for it. But it might need people to think a little differently.
for example, if you for example you have no singer on the board, and opponent has a really big board, and then you want to make a grapple sword, and then you can play this first, and then a grapple sword. Okay, you have a 3/3 now on board. That's not crazy or something. That's just the best use of him most of the time. But I mean, Steel Song, there is some combo potential, of course. You can play this, then you sing Whole New World with Ariel, and then you draw a song that you can. No. You must, you can first play the whole New World for him, and then you can still sing with Ariel and something.
I don't think you can't really give this like anything lower than a 7 for this would be that's outrageous. It probably deserves an 8 at least, but I don't know how. I don't know if it's going to break the format in half.
I mean,
I think
see.
I'm even lower on this than Artabax is.
Really?
Yeah,
and you're probably
These
right.
Uninkables and Steel Song are like those slots are so valuable, and you're gonna have to shoehorn this one in, which means you're cutting like Let the Storm Rage on. And the songs were designed to be sung and thus are kind of balanced around being played for free. And like when you play Prince Naveen and you sing A Whole New World, you're really only discounting it by 1. Whereas like you could have sang it with Ariel Gaston and it would have been free and you could use that. You could use that ink otherwise. And a 3/3 that Quest for 2 leftover is a fine card. And I think my closing statement on this is like probably would be the people are going to be really attached to the times that this was really good, right? They play Ariel, they get A Whole New World. Your opponent brawls the Ariel, they get to play this and sing A Whole New World. It's going to feel really, really good. And all the times it jams up your hand or you draw it when you don't have a song, people are just going to forget about. But to me, this is like
the question you should ask about yourself about this card is the chat is outrageous now. They flame us, but chat, which stats of this card would it be? When would it be bad? If it has 1/1, it would be bad. It made no sense. It's not a super. That's the problem with me. It's not a super tempo. I mean, someone of you said, "Oh, you can play this, then you play A Whole New World, and then you sing the song with Ariel." But you can, if you don't place, you can just hardcast A Whole New World and then still sing the song with Ariel. So the only benefit you get is this 3/3 body on the board. Of course, it's a benefit, but it's not.
That body's good.
Fine.
There's a big difference between hard casting A Whole New World and casting A Whole New World and having like something that's on its floor, like a Gaston body in play. That's how you reach those board states where the Steel Song deck just goes completely nuts and is doing 3 super impactful things a turn. I think it's going to be people are going to have to work really hard to find out to fit that into the deck properly. But the raw power level is so high, I couldn't put it lower than an 8. But
no,
maybe it's one of those things.
8 is too much. 7, I can live with a 7, but 8 it's really too much for me.
Yeah, you don't have to go with me. I'm scared of being wrong.
Can I?
0.
This card 0. I think like a 0, a card would have to not just be unplayable, but like maybe offensive or something.
We have to.
In the essence of time.
I think the other cards are also. We have to be a little bit faster.
Yeah, let's go.
Fix it, Felix. Your locations get +2 strength, health. Don't see
Yeah,
it.
who cares? 2, 3. Better than a 2. It has some build around potential. I just put it in 3 and move on.
This was the wrong fixed Felix. I think they are.
The one that's a Maleficent when you have a location is pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's cool. That has more potential.
I put this into 2, the Maleficent, but yeah, it's better. Sorry, chat. What's this Wreck-It Ralph again? That was interesting.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I like this card. Cool. Everything that's cool is uninkable, so it's only.
I
it can only
totally
be so
forgot
cool.
about this card. Wow. This is really good.
Yeah, I mean, on its
So
floor, it's a chunky Hades, right?
the parallel, right, is to Surfer Stitch.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, if you have 2 characters on board, you'd rather just play Surfer.
Yeah.
But
And
when you don't, right,
When you
like
have
if
no characters on board.
when you have no characters on board, this guy's pretty good. And not to mention, he picks up Rapunzel to gain 2 lore.
Yeah.
And then
this
it's
is
very
really
good with Rapunzel, right? Like, how does your opponent ever deal with this if you have a Rapunzel?
This is really, really good card, I think.
Yeah, I like this a lot in a Mufasa type build.
What's
competing.
good? What's good about this card is that it's never bad. I mean, you can't get punished to play this. You could also always a card back, and it can't just be removed and did nothing. That's always important for such expensive cards.
Yeah, it's not like, conditional in any way. It's.
I would put it in 8.
I like this one too.
Yeah, I could give that an 8. Yeah.
So we are through with Amber. This Felix. So next one is Amethyst. I will do some cards that I see no potential.
Can we start with one Amethyst card? I have to leave. In,
oh,
like
okay.
30 minutes.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the library?
Of course we can.
Did you have to leave in 30 minutes? So let's get this on screen so you can talk about it for 30 minutes.
Where is Amethyst? Ich glaube, ich hab's, Schatz. This library. I was really harsh on this when we talked about this in our group. But it's of course not super
bad. This is the reason I wanted this card was the reason I wanted to come on and talk about it. So if you're warming up on it, I'm okay with it. But in my opinion, this is the second best location in the game.
Big words.
And it's not clear to me that every deck picks Queen's Castle over this. Like if you're an aggressively slanted Amber Amethyst deck, right? So all you're playing is 1 drops, 2 drops, 3 drops.
The problem,
right, so like,
I think you can't really compare this to Castle. It's a totally different card for me, because Castle is a win condition and the real threat, and this is maybe a draw engine kind of card that gets you a little bit of lore, but nothing that the opponent has to immediately answer or they have a real problem. What Castle is.
But this is you would rather put Lilo in this than in Castle.
Yeah, true.
That may be true.
I like this. I'm pretty high on this card.
I'm pretty low on this card.
This is the best Amethyst card.
Wow.
In the set.
Listen to him go.
Yeah, okay, you can be high on this. But let's talk about it in the practice. How can I say that? In the game, you play this on turn 3. Turn 4, you move 2 characters here, or what do you do? And then you have 2 ink left to do what? Yeah. That's the thing. That's the thing what I see about this card. I don't think in a vacuum this is bad or something, but I don't see the place.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't really imagine running this out on turn 3, but I can certainly imagine play it on turn
No.
4 and send your Baloo or something if you're playing an aggro deck.
So the play pattern I'm like really high on the library for, right? Is these amethyst amber aggro decks have like traditionally struggled against steel decks that run grab your sword. So suppose you're playing against blue steel, right? And they put the Cogsworth into play, right? And next turn they're setting up for the Tinkerbell grab your swords. This is a great thing to put on the board and put all your characters in.
Yeah.
Or Rapunzel's Tower.
Yeah, then they just live. You
Yeah,
don't have to worry about
Rapunzel's
playing your
Tower,
action.
My feeling
I like
is
this, but I'm not
my
crazy
feeling
for
is
it.
my feeling is this is too slow, but I don't, and I think you can't really compare this to Queen's Castle. It's a completely different card for me.
No. Right, I'm Ruby Amethyst plays the Queen's Castle, and I actually think Ruby Amethyst could play this too. Like this might be the card that brings like Jim Hawkins back because you're not stuck playing an uninkable RLS Legacy.
Yeah, you don't have to play RLS.
With Jim, this is quite good. That's true.
8 is big. 8 is really
So,
hard
like,
to kill.
Queen's Castle's on a it's on a tier all by itself, right? But like, what are the next best locations in the game? It's like the only other ones that see play are McDuck Manor and Pride Lands. I think this is better than both of those. It just happens to be in purple, where everybody's going to immediately compare it to Queen's Castle, and it's not going to look as good. But it is huge.
Yeah.
And that's very difficult to deal with. And like, not to mention, you actually go plus a card if you draw a Chernobog Slate with this thing in play, right? Or like Broom.
Yeah, I mean, you could, if you get 2 characters here, and they get the effect, and you draw 2 cards for this card. It's not super crazy. It's like a Friends on the other side for 5, but
We could talk about this one for a really long time.
yeah. It's okay. You say 8. What do you say, LD?
I'm going 7,
Yeah,
but
7
I
is
think
okay.
it could be an 8 in practice.
So what we do now, if Dave has to, I think it's better that we talk about some relevant cards. I think
it's an 8. I mean, it's
yeah,
but the spoiler for the rest of the Amethyst cards is I think it's all of them are worse than that. But
no, there's one that's better.
Yeah, one is better. What is better?
There's one better. I think. I wonder if we're thinking of the same one.
Are we talking about Elsa? Or...
Yeah, we're talking about Elsa. Yeah. I think that's.
I'm not.
Are you talking about gather wisdom and knowledge? Gather knowledge and wisdom.
No. Oh, I mean, I love that card, but like,
let's do the Amethyst cards.
Yeah.
But I just want to talk about the relevant cards. Where's Elsa?
She's third column left card, or sorry, third row left card.
Oh.
The first card in the third row.
Yeah. So this is for me maybe the best card of the set. I don't know exactly. Maybe after Pete.
It's really good.
It's really strong. And I think most purple decks will play this 3 times or so. I can see a downside. This is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I mean we've seen.
For example, like green purple asked for a card like this. This does so much. You don't have to challenge the character with her that you exert with her. You can just exert a
Yeah,
beast,
just
and then it's really strong.
Yeah, you just have some stuff on your board
And then it's
to
still,
take things out with.
I mean, you could say it's not very crazy good, but it's still an evasive character then on the board that quests every turn. I don't know. I see no downside on this card.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
It's really versatile without being like insane in any one way. But like you say, it's just like comes in, fills that Pinocchio role, also fills your Peter Pan shadow / Peter Pan
Yeah.
role of taking out evasive stuff. Also leaves behind an evasive body, so you can
I mean,
just keep.
maybe I'm a little bit
establish
biased
a clock.
because that's exactly what I wanted as green purple, because it can deal with also with Tinkerbell. I mean, you can run in with her and one other character with 3 strength to kill Tinkerbell. This still survives. Tinkerbell was our worst enemy. Beast, she can just turn off the beast. It's so much. This card does so much. Really high.
Yeah, it's great. This is a 9.
For me, it's a 9. Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
And what?
No, it's not a 9.
I think it's really interesting in the doors that it opens for the non-red amethyst color combinations,
Yeah,
right? Because
I agree.
in red, she's just probably not as good as Maui.
Yeah, that's true.
And
That's true.
she's perfectly statted to survive whatever she fights with, and then maybe even bring back the Shift Elsa from set 1 as like a playable card in the metagame because it just curves perfectly.
Mm.
If Sapphire Amethyst is playable, I think it's on the back of this card because combos
Yeah, that's true. Sapphire Amethyst.
particularly well with Mickey, right? So you
Yeah.
can play Mickey on 3, you can play her on turn 4, and then fight something, and then shift in the bigger Elsa on turn 5, which is not a line that we've had access to, and that's pretty scary. I think it's just, I think it's an 8. I would put it in the same level as the library. You guys put the library in a 7, so.
No, I regret that already, by the way.
So what?
The
All right,
next-
LD. What purple card are you most excited for?
Oh yeah, LD. What did you say?
Yeah. So it costs 1.
Oh, Cogsworth.
Ah, the Cogsworth. Okay, let's talk about the Cogsworth. Where is he? Here. Yeah, I have a little problem with Cogsworth though. I think it's a really cool card. It's a really cool card design. It's a really cool card, and it's obviously not bad.
I just love effects like this, stapled to a super cheap character. It's already in the color where you're going to bounce it. I don't know. This is like such a medium line, but just when you're looking at something on board, you've got something big you need to take out. Maybe you're responding to an early castle or something. Just being able to play a crab, have the crab target itself, and then just sneak in the Cogsworth for the last one, and you're hitting for 6 out of nowhere. It's doing like a pretty reasonable Maui impression. Sometimes you're just going to play this on turn 2 or something, and then target itself, and take out a trade with a Lilo or something in some aggro things. I really, really like this. I just love this kind of effect where you can pick it up. Plays so well with snakes and that sort of thing. When you're getting to later turns with some of these purple decks, I don't know, it gives you a ton of versatility. And one of the things that those decks have struggled to do is that they kind of always feel if you take a deck like Blurple or something, for example, they always sort of feel a turn behind. Oh, there's a big threat here. Well, all I can do right now is run out a goat. That's my highest strength thing, and next turn I'm going to get to hit something with a goat. Just getting to trade right away, I really like this card. And it's the same reason I really like another card of just leaving behind this body, which looks like it's not significant, but sometimes you're just going to be sending it to castles and that sort of thing. Yeah, I'm high on this. Maybe it won't pan out to be amazing, but I'm really happy to give this a 7. I would give it an 8, but I appreciate others might not be so high on it.
I'd give it a 7.
Yeah, the problem is still for me that it's a 1-cost character that's not a play on turn 1. That's the problem for me.
Can be if you want it to be, though. If you're the kind of deck that
nah.
just runs out turn 2 snakes and you just need something in play.
I mean, it's good. It's good. 7 is okay. I'm okay with 7.
It's an 8 in my heart.
So this is also a card I'm lower on than the most people. I don't know why people think this is super strong. Especially not. I think we don't need Sailor here. It's just when this card enters battlefield. Exert all characters.
Yeah, it's really cool, but
I don't see it.
I know some people we talked to were closely following the spoiler, hoping for like a really good target to shift this onto, and we didn't get that, right? So this is held back by that.
You got the legendary green Anna to shift this onto.
Yeah.
We play mono uninkable green purple.
I don't.
I actually think this is going to make the cut in blue purple.
I mean, what do you the effect is here? They don't stay exerted, so you have to use this exerting.
You need a
she
board.
herself could fight something when you shift her in, right?
Yeah.
And you need other characters to do that, because otherwise it should be seen as a little bit of a board wipe effect, but that's something you have to set up.
A lot of the time, if you don't have a wide board of decent, not just a wide board, but a wide board of things that can challenge efficiently, you might just be better off running out the 5-cost Elsa. I mean, whatever plays this probably plays that Elsa anyway, so you just have both. But yeah, I think a lot of the time, like, this looks like a crazy blowout, but sometimes you're not going to get that much from it.
Elsa is better in nearly any case.
Yeah,
I think
I agree with that, but I don't hate this card.
Yeah, for me it's a 6, borderline playable.
I think it's a 6 too, but I respect people that put 7 on it.
I would give it a 7. I'm pretty high on cards in general that open up new color combinations.
Yeah, that's
and there is tons of that
reasonable.
this set.
And like, I don't think this is ever playable in the traditional purple decks, but like, because the only good Anna that you can shift onto is in blue.
This is one of the first cards I think that was revealed.
Yeah,
and I think it's pretty decent. I will try this in green purple. I think it's a good aggressive character. I don't know if it's good enough, but I like it. I don't know how you think about it. I'm curious.
I really like it too, but just saying the exact opposite thing. I really like it, but to me this looks like a card that has come along just too late for itself. It's like arrived just on time to get destroyed by Elsa's, right? It arrived perfectly on time to just be taken out for free and just do nothing on turn 4 except cantrip.
This card would be absolutely bonkers in set 1, for example.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
It's
if you sort of cut your teeth like us trying to make green purple work in set 1, then you look at this and you think, whoa,
this is the best card I can get. Yeah.
But in our world today, not so much. I don't hate it. Like, it's hard for me to give this lower than the 6 because it's fine. But
I will play him once and just.
My concern with this card is it's at best the 4th best 4-cost purple card.
That's a really good point.
Right, and we haven't even talked about the elephant yet, which is probably the 4th best 4-cost purple card.
Yeah.
So like, what does your ink curve look like if you're trying to fit this into?
Do you mean rabbit,
You
goat?
can't play
What's the
20
third? What's the third?
4 cost cards.
Rabbit, goat, and then
Castle.
maybe.
castle. Okay.
And also,
Yeah.
like, this
Yeah.
is it's debatable whether this is even better than Dolores, and nobody's playing her.
Oh, I think this is, for me, this is better than Dolores, but yeah.
But not by that much. It's still close. You could make a case for Dolores still.
Wow, that's really harsh. What did Bruni do to you?
Just had 2 willpower. It's all Bruni's done to me.
This is the worst legendary, I think. This is so completely garbage.
Yeah, I hate this card
this is-
for
this is
existing and
so-
for
this
being in
is-
people's packs.
This is so bad. Please convince me that I overlook something. This is so bad. I don't know even what. I mean, it's the Gantu of the set, yeah. Yeah, I don't. It's a 2. I don't. It's not even good stat line, you know. That's just so bad. I mean, it's not even good
It's-
in limited.
It has almost everything wrong with it.
Yeah.
It's does nothing when you play it. It dies to Medusa right away, which that's a cliche, but whatever. In this case, I use it. It dies to Medusa. That last line of text just so doesn't need to be there, but it is anyway. It's like someone did something crazy with this in their testing, and they thought, right, better bounce that chosen card back to your hand. Sometimes you'll be able to engineer a situation where bouncing the thing is like a positive to you, but man, I'm so low on it.
It's a 1 for me, just because I want to
A
blame
1?
them. Or 2. It's
No,
not
I
better
think
than a 2.
Make an example of it. Give it 1.
Yeah, I want to know I want them to know what they have done.
Yeah, you have to make an example.
Okay, the elephant. Elephant is interesting. I think
I really like
elephant
this
is really
card.
good. I think it competes a little bit with other cards, and I think it's not necessarily in every purple deck needed. But for example,
No.
green purple that struggle with steel, this is a really good counter steel card.
In some matchups, this is great, but it's not always great, and that's a problem. In a really contested slot like 4 cost in Amethyst.
Additionally, you have to really be careful about your bounce cards. I mean, even sometimes with 4 fox and 4 snakes, sometimes you have 3 bounces in your hand and no character to bounce. So you have to be careful to not, overshoot your deck
I think
with.
you can play 2 of these, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's nice to
I think
have more of that effect if you want it.
Yeah, I will play 4 fox, 3 snake, 3 of these in the beginning.
Yeah, I think you do have to start cutting
Yeah,
snakes
snakes.
if you start
Yeah,
playing this, though,
yeah.
because having 10 bounce cards, like, you just can have some really rough
Yeah.
sequences of draws.
And I think
there's a line, there's a specific line that I'll talk about when we come to the other card involved in it that makes me like this a little more than how it looks on paper. This is really difficult to deal with in the early game. This is like a snowbally card that can get pretty crazy and constrain what your opponent can do if you play it ahead of time. Which basically means playing it
I
in
know what you
Blurple, which I'm
mean.
actually interested in.
I know what you mean. Okay. Yeah, that's
Now
really
you're-
good. Yeah.
It's all falling into place, right? This is I'm high on Blurple. No memeing. I think
For me,
I'm
it's
seeing a lot
for
of
me-
gaps filled.
For
Blue
me, it's-
card with the elephant?
I mean, you can turn 2. I mean, it's no matter what 1 drop you play, I think, but turn 2, 1 jump ahead, turn 3, this could be really strong. I guess.
Oh, this also works with Tipo, right? And even
That's the
return.
card. That's the
Tipa?
card I'm thinking of, which I really want to talk about that card.
Yeah, okay. I think this is an 8 for me.
I would put it at an 8 too, but you're rarely going to play 4 copies unless it turns out to be busted. But yeah,
But yeah, playing this in a blue with in combination of blue and like Cogsworth, man, that's going to be a nightmare to get off the table.
I know that's what I'm interested in doing. Not to show my hand too early in the set, but that's where my head's going first.
What do we say about this card? I mean, it's traditional sideboard card, but we have no sideboards in Lorcana. I don't know. Will the C play?
We could find ourselves in a situation where people play it.
Yeah.
2 is like 2 strength is a real horrible break point that you just don't want to be at. Just incidentally going to get like kitted sometimes, and you're gonna feel miserable
Yeah,
for
I think
playing this
it's not.
card.
It's not. I put it into 6 because it's not worthy to talk about it if we have no meta. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, good point. It's all situational with that, so
Yeah.
it's
So-
fine and solves a problem if that problem happens.
I mean, you will bash this card also, but I think there are some lines that are really could be really strong. Where is he? Here, the Earth Giant. Yeah, I mean, you say it's garbage, and probably is, but I like such cards. I mean, if you turn 3 play this new Moana and turn 4 this, oof.
You got set 1 brain. You just want to play things that are like above rate and are hard to remove.
Okay, it's a 5. But 5, it's 5. It's unplayable, but 5. Thank you.
I just don't think that's. I think they just missed the mark. If that was a 5/6, it could have been interesting.
Whoa.
Yeah, this could be a little better. I mean, at 5/6, I'd be very interested in playing it, but
Or a 4/6, so Maui can still run it over. But I do think the gather wisdom and knowledge is a card worth talking about.
yeah, we should talk about that.
Oh, really? This is not good. Where is it? No, this is not playable.
Oh, I'm pretty high on it.
This is
Whoa.
at the least a really interesting card to talk about. It sets a really interesting precedent for the game and where we could end up going in the future.
Yeah, okay, you could play some burn decks in the future, yeah. But
So let me take this one because then I gotta run. So right now there's like this conventional wisdom that you can play 15 or 16 uninkables. Maybe if you're playing blue or if you're playing Steel Song, with the singing mechanic, you can sneak up to 19 or 20. But I think with cards like this and with Daisy, there's the potential for a stop at 4 or 5 ink aggro deck.
Yeah.
Particularly cards with like just a Cusco and a Maleficent, where all they do is just they go on the board, they quest for 1, they die, you get your cardboard back. I think we're going to be able to see 20 to 26 uninkable aggro decks. That really, like I said, they don't ink past 4 or 5, and all they're hoping to do is like play friends and rip 2 of these at the and burn you out from 14. And the library goes a long way with that. It's another card that you can play that gets you your cards back. Chernobog's Followers does it. And like traditionally, that kind of deck had a really hard time against steel variants because they would just win the board and then play a whole new world, bury you, and then they would quest out in 2 turns. And like, I don't know that a whole new world's going to be playable if stuff like this exists, where the Amethyst Amber deck gets to 14 lore. Are you really going to give them 7 fresh new cards?
Yeah,
Right, and
I
blue
completely
is
agree.
another one. One of the commenters in the
Yeah.
chat just mentioned that, right? But like, you get blue, you get goat, you get this.
Yeah.
It really changes the dynamic against those steel decks.
The threshold of lore that you have to hit in a deck like that plays 4 goats, 4 gathering, 4 blue. You don't have to do, you're opening up with these daisy openings on the play. You're kind of challenging your opponent to clear your board by like turn 3 or 4. Really, really tight spot. The amount of reach you can have if you're willing to take a few deck building risks and go a little over on uninkables. You can. People are going to lose to this at set championships. You will lose to this deck, or you will lose to this card.
Yeah, I mean, if you really, I could see this if this yellow amber hyper aggro deck exists, but that got hated out of the meta really soon in every format. But
yeah,
I think the argument of Dave was not bad with the wheel, because that was the worst enemy of these decks. Maybe it's better than I thought. Yeah.
yeah.
I
think that a super, not to use too many words, but like really the fastest version of the hyper aggro that we've seen ever.
Yeah.
The pieces are all there. It's
So
probably
it's a
going to
7?
brick sometimes.
7.
Yeah, it's a 7.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna light the world on fire.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean.
But like, if you're playing red purple and you sit down against somebody who's showed up with amethyst amber aggro and wants to blast with that thing, like, you're never winning.
Yeah, you have to respect that card exists. So it's like
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
I mean, they're going to gain lore on their turn without questing.
Yeah.
Basically every turn after turn 5, right?
Yeah.
No.
Between
Dave, where you still have you one card? Do you have time for one card?
Yeah, I got one more.
I want, because the chat wrote it multiple times now, and I just want to have your opinion on the Merle. Why is it not Sapphire? Because this card is for me a complete. This is the best explanation of a trap for me.
I'm intrigued.
I think
What's it going to be?
This Merlin.
Ooh.
I think this is really, 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 really bad. Really bad unplayable card. And I know the chat hates me now. But I have to be how can you say that? Authentic. And it's I can see no word where this card is playable.
This isn't even the worst blue legendary.
It isn't the worst.
This card is better than Mufasa.
No.
I agree with Dave. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Chat, please help me. Please.
I agree.
Mufasa is a really good card. What do you I think Mufasa is the 5th or 6th Tamator for me. But Mufasa is another thing. But this is unplayable. Mufasa is a decent card on its curve, but this is just nonsense.
So this card, right, is it says that it's blue, right, but it's really a blue-purple split card, right?
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah.
you have to play it in that color combination because the only playable the 2 blue Merlins you can't put in your deck.
Yeah.
So
you shift this on your Rapid and hate yourself. Or
the other problem is it's not really a purple card because you'd rather just have either of the 3 Merlins you shifted onto than whatever's left over here, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And
the
even
whole situation with shifting this, it's like a double-edged sword, right? Which is that we've never really had, maybe I'm forgetting some example. We've never really had a shift target that has, or a big shifter that has so much redundancy in its playable targets. Like some of these decks are going to have 12 Merlins that they could shift this onto. That's cool. The bad thing is all of those Merlins are good cards that you don't just want to lose underneath a 3/7 body by shifting this.
and
I
it's
really don't hate this, but like
and it's
it's
a
not
very
amazing.
expensive shift. I think 5 is very much for this card.
I mean, yeah, that's what I wanted. If I'm doing anything with this, I'm shifting it with shifting it onto a crab maybe with
Or
a 4-drop
squirrel.
in play that I just played, and then I'm looking for my one-off copy of Second Star on the right and singing that right away to draw 5.
No, I
That
think
doesn't
that
end the game.
I was about to say I actually think this card is worse because it costs 6 and not 10.
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
It
That's
should.
true.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
you're never running this out.
If it actually
Yeah.
costed 10, you could shift it in on turn 5, get Second Star,
Yeah,
and sing
yeah,
it and draw
that's
5
true.
cards.
Yeah.
That's
You
true.
can't
Yeah.
because it costs 6.
This is so
Yeah.
I don't. I'm pretty low on this one. I mean, as cards, as more cards come out, more sets gets released. Eventually, there's going to be
yeah, maybe in
a
the
9 or
future.
10
Yeah.
cost thing that's really interesting.
Yeah,
Or
that's the
really
next
powerful
problem.
card.
I don't see the card that you can search with him. What changes the game?
Yeah.
Right. Also, I mean, a lucky die maybe, or something. I don't know. What do you search with him? What really? I mean, you have a bad time. You shift this on a gold for 5, so you lose. It's a negative. It's not a good tempo play. So you have to get something most of the time that gets this tempo back, like Let It Go or something to sing it with him.
It's
Yeah,
you can't really get an Elsa because you can't play it for 3 more turns.
yeah.
No.
It's
Yeah,
really,
I'm-
The good targets are limited. I don't hate this as much as you both, but it's not amazing. It's the worst part of it is that the things you're shifting onto are so much better. We're so used to shifting onto things that have like already outlived their sort of useful life, but all these Merlins have exit effects that you just lose, that some of their values tied up in. Yeah, it kind of sucks, but it has potential.
Yeah, snoo. When you say you search what you need, that there are not super much situations. Either most of the time you have to catch up board or you have to close out the game. So that's
I mean, the best thing you can probably get is a rabbit, right?
Yeah. You mean the rabbit you shifted on with him?
You can shift it, find a rabbit to replace the rabbit you just lost. That is a combo.
Yeah.
No, I really
Well,
like
the other problem with this, right, is you have to pay 5 to get the search effect, right? So like you can't even
you can't
use
just
the
play it out.
card that you got.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
that's rough.
problem.
And like the only real removal spell that you can grab is Let It Go. And so
Yeah, Let It Go will that's the problem. You will most of the time need to take a Let It Go because you need to catch up board somehow.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And then it's kind
I-
of nonsense.
I was going to say, someone in the chat said, and I think it's a really good analysis of, you're always looking for an answer to something with this. The only real feasible one in that blue-purple combo is Let It Go right now.
Yeah.
Which makes this a conditional Hades, because you're just getting... It's like a conditional Hades that loses you one of your best things on board. Yeah, when you look at it that way, it does suck. It's like a 3, but... Which is maybe how I should be looking at it all the time. Maybe this card's really bad.
I really don't see it. And there must be some really crazy win condition cards in the future that you search for with this.
Yeah.
And that
There's only so bad that, like,
And the only
Save
real win
the
condition card
effect
I
can
could
be.
see is it Lucky Dime for me right now? What's Lucky Dime is the most win condition card in itself that exists in the game, I think. But Lucky Dime with this is weird, I think.
Yeah, it is better than Mirabelle, so we have to at least rank it higher than what you gave Mirabelle.
Oh,
Not to reopen that conversation.
I think there are multiple legendaries worse than that, by the way.
Yeah, they're up for sure.
Yeah. I mean, the effect is quite strong, so I get it. But it's
This is not the set to be.
5.
Maybe the Enchanteds will continue to be really nice because they are the ones we've seen so far have been really nice. But
It's so brave of a trading card game to so openly say to players, just don't buy sealed products, just never open packs. It doesn't feel like a winning strategy to me, but with so many bad legendaries, I don't know how much of this product I'm opening.
Okay. Dave, you are. Thank you very much for joining. I'm thankful.
it was a pleasure. I wish I could have stuck around for the whole thing.
Yeah, thank you, Ant.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, guys. Talk to you later.
Yo,
Yeah, speak to
thank
you later,
you.
man. Thank you.
Bye bye. Okay, LD. Let's just talk about the cards that I think are relevant, or if you have something.
Yeah. Let's go fast.
Yeah. There are some emerald cards I want to talk about. This is better than people think. I'm pretty sure. I mean, it's the next card that you say it's this uninkable overstated card, but I think this is really good. I think this is one of the cards we really needed. It hurts that it's uninkable, but it's exactly that problem with green purple we had was if we are on a draw and we open with Merfolk Flynn, we totally lose board. And this is one of the best aggro characters that's also playable on the draw.
Yeah, I mean, I don't dislike this card.
I mean, the other were bad, but this is the best of these uninkable overstated cards, if you can say that, for me, because it's just the perfect stats for this.
Yeah, I think I'm probably lower on this than you are, just because to me a card has to do a little more than be overstated. You're completely right. It fills a gap in the deck, so that's really what you will give up your uninkable slot for. But I don't know. To get me excited, an uninkable card has to do a little more than just be overstated by 1 strength.
For me, I will put it on a 6 because I think it's borderline playable.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah.
Oh, Anna is really interesting. Chat, what do you say about the Anna? I think it's too weak for what she does.
Yeah, this is. We could have been talking about a card if it's going to get boring. So I'm sorry for just saying it all the time. If this was inkable, we could have been talking about it.
Yeah.
A little more because, nice flexible card. I'd really like to maybe see the option to stretch to paying for more than 1 to carry it into the late game. But
no, I think it's a 5 for
yeah,
me.
It's not there. It's asking too much of you and offering you very little.
Okay, this card is also overlooked in my opinion. This could be really, really good. I think this is a really strong effect.
Yeah, this is better than it appears at first glance. Yeah.
This is a really, really strong effect. I mean, imagine like playing against Steel Song. They grab a sword and you just give everything back to their hand.
Yeah.
This is really, really tempo-wise. This card is amazing. The problem is the opponent can a little bit play around this card by not. I mean, they know what they're doing, of course, but
you've got a a couple of small problems there, tempo-wise, which is that if you're playing a tempo play style, it's going to be hard to find the spot where you're happy just paying 3 to slam this down. Are you going 1 drop, 2 drop this on turn 3? Probably not. That's slowing you down a little. So if you're not doing it, then when are you doing it? Or I don't know, maybe you can see playing it on turn 3, but
Yeah, I think I can see a turn 3 play. But
Okay.
the problem is there are many decks that this card isn't good against. Most of the time, control decks.
Yeah.
And there it's uninkable. That's the problem for me.
yeah, I mean, be prepared decks in general
Yeah,
doesn't look so great against.
you
does
want
it?
to play
But
another character on turn 3 against them.
Yeah.
Than this.
yeah, it's cool. It's certainly better than. I'm happy to give it a 6. It's
Yeah,
it's an
it's-
effect that's worth considering for these tempo decks. It's probably better than a lot of the other items in that class.
Would this be an auto include if inkable? I think maybe it would be an auto include.
It'll be in the conversation.
Oh, the next card you will blame me for. And I think this is really not playable.
What is this? I don't dislike this card. It keeps some of these decks honest. I know you hate it, and I want to tell you that I hate it as well to make you happy. But I don't like. I could give this a 6. It fills a role, but no, I don't know. It's a 5. Any of these effects that like constrain your opponent's hand to a specific number that's low but not low enough to matter is.
I think 3 cards is a lot. That's not nothing.
I mean, this is saved by being inkable because there are some decks that this does absolutely nothing against. Yeah, it would be crazy if a
when do you
Prince John
play this?
existed.
That's the question for me as well. When do you play this? Turn 3. Then your opponent thinks, okay, thank you. I play Sisu. Your turn. I don't know.
Sometimes you're going to get them for a couple of cards with this, and it's going to feel like a.
That's the next bad thing for me. This is only good on the play, really. On the draw, this is so bad, this card. Oh my gosh. This is just your opponents will always thank you by playing this on turn 3 on the draw. Just do nothing. It seems like a nice tag against Whole New World. I don't think so. Yeah.
This is something we're only. You have to see how the set and the metagame shakes out before you're considering playing this, right? If you look at standout cards like Daisy and stuff like that, if things are getting faster and people are getting less greedy.
The problem is people are higher on this, I think, because they know, oh, red purple. Sometimes in the endgame they have 11 hand cards, but that won't happen in a green match. You know, in which green match do you have 11 cards in your hand? That's only in the mirror match, red purple mirror match, where you are bouncing your rabbits, both players, and do nothing. And I think this card will not fit that role of preventing this. Yeah, I think there's a 10 in this set. Yosoko. I'm putting this on 5 now.
I want to see what this 10 is.
You know what the 10 is. Shall we talk about the 10 now or later? Chat, if I let's do the emerald done and then
Oh, maybe I know.
Rob the Han, thank you so much for the sub.
Oh yeah, no, of course. Yeah, I know what it is now.
This is the best emerald card for me.
Yeah, I really like this card. I give this an 8.
Yeah.
Even I can't remember what the text is now.
It's when your opponent has more cards than you. At the end of your turn, you draw as many cards. Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, great. I really like that. And the 1-drop that you're shifting from it is a pretty versatile card.
Yeah. I think that's it for Emerald. Everything else in Emerald
Yeah.
is.
I don't need to know what a card does though. I've seen this cow woman and thought, wow, that card's good. I've just committed it to memory.
But Emerald, that's everything. Everything else in Emerald is if your opponent has a damaged character. That's everything else in Emerald.
Yeah.
That's so
And
annoying.
all of those cards are
I mean, this card is borderline
really hard to
playable.
like them.
Just for the last card of Emerald for me. In aggro decks, I could see this. People are very low on this, but I could see. I think it's okay to make a break for 1 turn to fill up your hand. If you draw 3 cards out of this, it's decent. Mama Gothel, the big one. Yeah. Mama Gothel, the big one, is not too bad. Yeah.
I like it a lot. I'm into the Mother Gothel.
Yeah, it's
and
okay.
I don't dislike the small one either, which makes me like this more. 4/6 is a really solid stat line.
I mean, the small one you would never play if the shift wouldn't exist. But yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But
she's not bad. She's playable, of course. I would put her in 6 now.
yeah, it's worth noting as well that they choose, right?
Yeah. It's a Cogsworth or something. That she can hit.
Yeah, that's a very optimistic way of looking at it. I would say that there's a chance you hit something that's not relevant at all.
Okay.
you have a very optimistic brain where you look at this and you think this can bounce Cogsworth. I look at this and I think this can bounce Cogsworth, the 1-drop purple one.
Was there anything else? I think not. You're welcome. You're welcome. It's a really good card.
Yeah, really versatile card.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent card. It's a 6. It's a good card. You can't.
It plays nicely with all of the
balancing
effects like Clarabelle and
it's a good 6.
You don't like this with Mirror?
Let's move on. Red is the worst color of any, I think.
No, I agree with that. Red got the least. That's for sure.
Oh my gosh, there are not many playable cards.
No.
If you ask me, the best card was for me the last revealed card.
The Robin Hood.
The Robin Hood, I think.
Yeah. It's really interesting. It's got a lot of cool text.
If I find
and I like these build around type cards that get you thinking about new archetypes. It's hard to put them lower than a 6.
But only if I find him.
Yeah, is the red item good as well? There's a couple of interesting items.
Yeah, I mean this is a good item.
That sword is worth talking about. Yeah. Big Maximus is up there for
Big Maximus, true. Here's I want to talk about the Robin Hood first. My gosh. Chad, where's the Robin Hood? I don't find him.
Minigame, find the Robin. Oh, is he third one in on the second row from the bottom?
This? No.
It's really small on my screen. I'm looking at a smaller version of it.
This is
okay, that's not it.
Okay. Here, I have him. Thanks, Blinks. This is really good. Of course, it's a powerful effect. There's no doubt in that. Yeah. The problem is, this card has some problems. I think, of course, it must survive a turn, but I think that's, you can take this as a 4-drop. It's not super expensive, but also it needs the right deck, of course.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It gets you thinking about this needs a deck that doesn't exist right now, right? This doesn't slot into something, but there's potential to build around this.
Yeah, I could imagine something with the Christoph.
Yeah.
This quests put all the songs in the graveyard, and then the Christoph gets cheaper. I mean, yeah, it gets brawled, but to be fair, if this gets brawled, it's not the worst. It's not the end of the world. I mean, it's an ink advantage of 1. It's not that they are super ahead then. It's not really not the end of the world.
No, it's decent.
Mm,
Yeah, but the only reason I get scared of 1 is that 1 is looking more relevant this set. If that Daisy becomes as prevalent as we kind of think, the 3-cost uncommon Sisu from the last set could easily make a return.
and that's
If that
really
makes a
bad.
return,
Yeah,
cards like
that's-
this look way worse.
That's true. I mean,
But
it's
that's thinking like 2 steps ahead.
for me. It's of course playable. It's 6 or 7 for me. 6. 6 is right.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. It's a fun card at least.
So the sword is really good.
Yeah.
I think. It's the Flynn effect, but with only 1 lore, but the opponent loses 1 lore. And that's pretty decent, yeah. I mean,
This is a really important tool if the decks with high reach that we were talking about, all of those yellow, purple, blue, goat type decks, if they do become as good as they look like they have the potential to be, which is fine but not incredible, but they'll be around. The slower decks might need a tool like this so that they actually have a chance of getting back in the game. Because if your opponent has hit 15 lore or something early on in the game and you wipe the board, that is no guarantee that even if you stabilize with that much reach, it's no guarantee you're going to win. You're going to need some way of chipping it down. A lot of the lore reducing effects in the game are super weak, but this being repeatable looks better than a lot of them.
Yeah. Chat, what are you talking about? On which card? I forgot. I missed the topic. You won't have 10 of 1 color in set 5? Didn't get it, but yeah, I think the problem is you have to complete the deck completely around this card, and then it's an item who can be removed. Or do you think you splash this just in a deck, in a control deck or something? Yeah.
Again, this is something that's like completely meta dependent and is something you'll play if the aggro decks with tons of reach get good and you need a way of whittling away the lore they've built up to stop them just going over your head with gatherings and goats. So I'm not putting this in a deck day 1, but you need to remember it exists.
Yeah, I put it on a 5 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Robin Hood, exists in too many colors. The Mickey Mouse existed, I think, since set 1 in every color, so I think it's no issue. The Gastor, somebody asked about the Gastor. I think that Gastor is not playable. The problem is you will compare this to other options in this color that are absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
And you have, I mean, even Scar is better, maybe. on curve. I don't know, but I don't see this card. I don't see it.
I know some people are quite excited about this,
Boah.
but I'm not. I think I'd rather play like.
Yeah, I mean, it's realistically.
It's hard to compare it.
Yeah.
It's hard to compare it to like Dragon Maleficent, for example, because obviously this doesn't actually cost 9 in practice. So, but I would still probably rather play Dragon most of the time.
Yeah. And this is something to ask for, and to get this to a 5 cost is really much asked for, I think.
Okay, so think about this a little bit. Realistically, the best you're probably getting this for is 5. It's going to be hard to find examples to get it for lower than 5. And even then, it's like not much better than a Maui at doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
Of course, it can quest after, but it's also an inkable, so there's a trade-off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is not good. And it's way less reliable than Maui. Way less. Oh my gosh, this is so much less reliable than Maui. That's crazy.
Maybe you actually like this card in like a Mufasa type deck because you already have all the random self-damaging characters, and also it's a huge high cost thing to flip, and it's like a Maui roll type card without being reckless.
I mean, it's a 5 for me. It's a 5.
Yeah, I would give it a 5.
But Ruby, accept that. I mean, this could be in this item decks. I mean, it's a decent item, decent 1-cost item, but nothing too crazy. I think this is playable, of course. I think.
Yeah, this is probably better than it looks.
Yeah, it's a decent 1-cost item. Yeah, Yusoko. I mean that's a really cool combo. Turn 1 Mulan, turn 2 Mulans, and turn 3 you can play the Gaston.
Yeah, that's good. I don't even hate that.
That's really cool. Yeah, that's really cool, Yusoko. That's funny.
You got a mulligan pretty aggressively,
Yeah,
Mulans, but I don't think that's bad.
I think this is I think it's good because Maui kills a castle with this, and it's a 1-cost item. So I think
that last one is really important for Maui.
Yeah. So
are there any effects that we want to make our opponent's stuff bigger? Like this is a reach, but things like World's Greatest Criminal Mind that say 5 or higher.
Not much. I think
there's not much.
This and the mini,
but
I think.
Yeah.
It's a 6 for me because it's just
it's good.
Ruby, everything else in Ruby was not good. I just look over it. No. No. Hey, Chad, I hope you don't like Ruby. Okay,
if they like Ruby, they have plenty to be happy about already.
R2 1-drop. Set someone. You mean the bird? Oh no. Oh no. Nah, the Wreck-It Ralph also not, I think. You mean... Oh, no. This one. Oh, no, that's so much to ask for.
Yeah, when you ready it as well, it's...
No. Yeah. I don't see it. I mean, someone said with Refu, and if this has damage, and then you can quest and ready him, and...
You are jumping through a lot of hoops to get maybe 3 lore.
No, and the rest. Not talking about this legendary. Why do they do this? Make
Yeah, I've got no idea. Your guess is as good as mine.
Oh, come on, Ravensburger.
That's you look at that card and you think, did that really need the condition that says if you shifted it?
Yeah, that's
Like, does this really need to be? You need to.
if this would be played, that would be a really cool card, maybe as an anti-aggro
Yeah.
deck. As you, that's just cool. But
Yeah.
this is so bullshit.
I agree. It's unnecessary.
Sapphire got maybe the most.
Yeah, Sapphire is on the surface like the winner.
First of all, yeah, we could all agree that Sapphire is the winner. Hideaway is the first one. I have to search it. What's this? It's alphabetical. I'm so dumb.
It's 2 hours in. It's alphabetical.
This is all Sapphire players asked for, I think. Maybe you play this 4 times in nearly every Sapphire deck. I don't know.
It's
very,
very good.
I mean, it's not. It's super good.
There will be spots where you're just targeting your own Porpsicle sometimes because you need a 1 jump ahead effect.
Yeah.
And you're fine with getting rid of it, and you've just been caught short with no actual ramp.
Yeah.
In addition to being able to just
this is crazy.
Take out castles that you. This is really, really good.
Yeah, this is just awesome. Yeah, as you say, you can. Oh, Sailor says that Cusco is just better. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, red blue probably isn't. In red blue, getting rid of Porpsicles into your Inkwell is way worse.
This is interesting, but I think it's not good enough. Some people are high on this, but I think it competes with too much for these uninkable slots in Sapphire decks.
Yeah, I mean, I like this as a princess aggro type card, like a protection thing.
Yeah.
That if you are playing a princess / hero type blue yellow deck, which again is really close, you can totally build it today, and in the next set it looks even closer to being totally playable. It's a really good option.
Problem is that it don't
protect
you from Be Prepared. That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't protect you from sweepers. It doesn't do what Pete does.
Yeah.
But it's does
borderline
other stuff.
playable. I think it's a 5.
It's a 5/6.
This one, the Donald Duck. I mean, this is the Mickey Mouse Inkable for 5. I guess it's too late. I'm not sure if this is too late, but I'm not a Sapphire player, but I think it's.
I think this card is way better than it looks.
Maybe, yeah.
There are. If you think about the 5-drops that Blue Steel plays, you know, some of them play things like Chempo that do play a role, but if primarily they are all there to sort of sing 5-cost songs and be a body that's somewhat hard to remove. This has some upside. There's reason to play that in some of these lists. Some number of this. Going Mickey into this with the 2-drop that draws you, you can have ramp decks that don't even need to play Quill or anything. I don't know if they'd be any good, but this is a
Yeah.
playable card.
I'm really not sure. It's really hard to say, but it's of course not a bad card.
Two
Yeah,
lore
it's a
is kind
6.
of like the deal maker.
It's a 6. Yeah, two lore. It's a really good. It's really not a bad card. The effect is good.
Yeah,
So
I'd give that a 6, I believe.
Yeah. What was this? This was something with healing, I guess. Sailor, where are you?
Translation support.
Je ne m'amuse plus de tout. I don't know what this card does. I guess it's not good. Otherwise, I would know it.
The name translates to "I'm not having fun anymore." But
Put a character you control into your ink tapped. Yeah. That's not good. That's not good. Mufasa. I really don't know why Dave is so low on this Mufasa. I think this is just a really good card. Why is it not good? Tell me a reason.
exert all cards in your inkwell and return 2. It's pretty sick. This is a really good card.
I think you should see this as a 5th or 6th Hamator because it does. I would not say the same, but it's just the next. It's a dime target. It's a game closer. It's nearly everything what Hamator does.
I mean, I'm not a ramp player. I'm not like a blue-red or blue-steel player, but
this is really good.
I would have like some number of this top of the curve in a blurple deck, even because you can. These kinds of engines where you're just bouncing stuff, replaying it, drawing cards, you have a really high chance of making use of that, readying everything.
The only problem I see is a little bit that the card quality you get back by this is not very high because you most of the time ink. Yeah, I mean, not always, but you often ink cards that you don't need in dead matchups. And, but you sometimes ink good cards, we know, but.
Yeah, I mean, this is like like Tamatoa. This is like the definition of a slow card that
closes out
the game.
Yeah, you can't let this sit on the board. It's just everything what a game closer card wants to do. Still get some value.
There will be times when you look at this in your hand, wanting to do something with it as you die to daisies and Merfolk.
Yeah, of course.
It's also
also
what happens with uninkable cards like this.
But people say this is a downside. I think this effect is no downside. This is an upside. This effect. Yeah, it's an upside.
No, not in a lot of the decks that'll play it.
This is an upside effect because people say, okay, you have the downside of this. I heard this, and then you have this effect, but this is an upside. It would be worse if this effect would not be there.
Yeah.
And this effect also, you can't. I mean, we didn't talk about this effect. I mean, it's powerful effect, I guess. But
extremely.
Also, it's a really good card. I would put it into 7 or maybe 8. 7.
I think. Yeah, 7 is okay, but I could think it could be generous. Like you've got like Clarabelle in the 8s. I think it's on par with that.
Yeah.
8. Again, it's something that like could be prohibited by the metagame. That you could find a couple of weeks in.
For example, it compares with this card, And this card is so way worse, in my opinion. Where is it? Here, this is so much worse, I think.
Yeah, completely.
Do you understand it?
Yeah, this costs one less for each item you have in play, right?
Yeah.
And it has support.
This is way worse.
So yeah, this card, whereas Mufasa, the sort of mark against it is it's an expensive card. Obviously, this has a cost reducer, and you're going to play this a little bit ahead of time, probably slightly ahead of when you would play Mufasa. The mark against Mufasa is it doesn't do anything to affect the board while being late, so in situations where you're getting run over, it's bad. This does even less.
Yeah.
This just sits there being a big dumb body, and you know, sometimes that's
just
cool,
dies.
but yeah.
Sometimes. Yeah. So this is, if Mufasa exists, this is not playable for me. If Mufasa wouldn't exist, it has also 4 lore, so it would be playable, but which is the best legendary to pump and dump at release day?
Ooh, Merlin.
Yeah. Merlin.
Because whatever that's worth, it's probably worth less than that.
Next card I want to talk about is this. This is also way worse than people think. I think this card is really bad. I tell you why.
Do you think so? I was really looking forward to talking about this card.
Oh, sorry. This card is really good.
Oh, perfect. We agree.
No, the problem is for me, it's way worse than one jump ahead because you need 2 cards because the card does nothing. So you use 2 cards to ramp for 1, and that's much to ask for.
Yeah. So I'm going to try and change your thinking on it slightly. People look at a card like this and compare it to one jump ahead. Obviously, that's the most natural thing to compare it to. And then the comparison goes to, well, one jump takes a card from the top of your deck versus your hand. So this is -1 card. Every time you ink a card, you are obviously losing a card from your hand. This enables you to just accelerate a turn.
But this does
something
nothing.
you were already going to ink ahead of time. I know.
Yeah.
The card, you have to assess this on the quality, on basically what are you doing with this? Like, how are you getting value out of a 1/2 body that costs you 2? Let's say some of that value is attributed to the ramping, but how are you getting something done or getting something out of having this body in play? To me,
bouncing.
I don't exactly. It's a bounce target. If you are, and then you can bounce it and ink it. I'm not suggesting this is a busted card or it's amazing.
Yeah, okay,
but I just think there are cases to play it. There are cases where this is the card I was talking about, where I said why I like Elephant. So in like a Blurple deck, I could see playing this on turn 2, inking something, then you're on 4 and you bounce this with the Elephant, and it's so hard to kill at that point in the game. So if you're looking for if you're doing things that require you to have some semi-relevant bounce targets in play, then the body looks a little better than terrible, which is why, like, for me, this is kind of a 6. So
yeah, okay, that's reasonable. I mean, you play this turn 2, turn 3 you play Elephant. This could be really strong, of course.
Yeah, because you play your Elephant, and then this is in your hand that you just then ink it, so you're not down cards at all. You just inked 2 cards that you were going to ink, but you did one of them ahead of time, and you know that's a fair bit. That's a lot of hoops to jump through, but I don't know. I think there's merit to it. There are things you can do with just having a body in play that make this look fine, but yeah, I'm higher on it than some people, but again, it's not a busted card.
You convinced me a bit. I think it's borderline playable. 6. Robski writes, but Sheriff on 4 is a thing, right? Get 2 popsicle and play before turn 4. Fishbone on 3 activate. Turn 4 you got 3 items and 6 ink. Oh, I don't think so, Rob. That's much to ask for. But maybe, yeah. But that's very, very...
When you pull that off, they just go, Be King Undisputed.
Yeah. for example. It's not.
Yeah, Sailor asked a good question about can you ink an uninkable card with that, and I wanted to know that also. I'm inclined to think you can, but
yeah, you can. Yeah, you can do. Oh, that's a real upside. You can ink an uninkable card.
it's something I'm going to try and see how it works out. It just reminds me of a card in Magic, which this is not as good as the example card I'm thinking of, that was really, really underrated. And it's basically the exact same card functionally, but it costs 1, not 2, which would be absurd if it cost 1. But people really underrated it, and in practice, just putting something in play that you were already going to play as a resource the turn after, but a turn early, is decent and worth thinking about.
Yeah, Robsky, maybe you're right. Maybe it's more easy than we think with the sheriff with 8 popsicles, but for me it's much to ask for to play this early, and then it does not much enough. But I am happy always to be wrong.
Rob, the card I was thinking of was the Arboreal Grazer, the 1-drop 0/3. It's much better than this card, but that whole debate of putting an extra resource into play a turn early, the parallel's kind of there in my mind, but this is doing it behind time, so it's significantly worse.
Yeah. What's a Sapphire Comic Con? This
No
is
problem.
Yeah,
no. This is asking you a weird amount to gain 2 lore versus the spell that just says gain 2 lore.
This is true. What else do we have? Chicha.
Yeah.
Where's Chicha? It's C, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Chicha.
I want to know what you think.
Wait, I have to read the chat. There's so much written. Yeah, Patrol, Tipo enables that, yes, but does it enable that better than other cards? That was just my question. Because I thought One Jump Ahead is better in every case, in every meta than Tipo, but in some decks, LT convinced me that it could be better. Or
I think
reasonable.
Yeah. It's not.
Decandio high.
Good,
I think it must be Naveen. It must be Naveen. In your ranking, it must be Naveen.
Yeah, Decandio loves Prince Naveen, right?
Yeah. Chicha. Okay.
Pete was going to be my other guess.
First of all, I thought this is not good enough, but that was just my first sight of this card.
I like this.
But because I thought it dies too easy, but I think that's no really reason to not play this. I think this is better than it seems for me in first sight, but other people thought at first sight that this is really good. And I could guess it's really good, yeah.
I like this card. I'm reasonably high, but not over the top. This is like a 6 to 7.
Yeah, just one ramp effect and it replaces itself. That's not a reason to play a card for me.
Just
So-
fulfill one thing, and you might get a card back.
But 2 times ramping and this, yeah, you drew 2 cards out of her. That's good.
Yeah. It's something I'm probably going to try.
I think this
But
will
I don't think
this
it's.
will only see play. Eocell, thanks for the follow. Only see play in blue red, not in blue steel, I think, because it's a weird. I don't know. I mean, in wheel decks, this is weird. Sailor, you're welcome. Web15, thanks for the follow. And Seno 3001 also, thank you for the follow. Sailor, tell us something about Chicha. I think you're really high on this.
It's a 7 for me.
Oh, 7 is really high.
And Ruparilla is thinking the same way I am, which is a line that looks quite powerful, but actually the end result is you
It's
replace 2 cards and have a bunch of medium bodies in play.
I mean, there's some things to consider. I mean, see, she's uninkable, and she's a really bad endgame card. I mean, how you play her 4 times, I guess. So
I guess, yeah, if you're playing her, you're sort of
yeah,
in, aren't
and
you?
she's the worst top deck ever. I mean, sometimes you can quill then and replace her, but
Rob's thinking the same way I am as well. This is a blurple card.
yeah. But again, this is a really bad top deck and a really bad endgame card. You really only, of course, you only want to play this on turn 2.
Yeah.
There's no other
Yeah, you're
way.
completely right.
I mean,
This is
Mickey,
the kind of thing I look at, and I just get blinded by the fact that this effect is repeatable. I just think I'm going to get so much out of this, but in practice, it's going to take quite a lot of work to actually get a decent amount out of it.
Maybe it's better than, but 7 is too high for me. Sorry, chat. It's 6. Oh. Dudum. Player left.
Just leave the call. Flip the table, leave the call.
What's this again? King Candy. Oh, that's also something. There are way better options than this.
The saving grace for this is that it doesn't have the only when you shift condition. But
yeah, but even then, is it a good turn 5
I don't know what
play?
you're playing this in. Yeah. You can look at it the same way you might look at Dolores, but it's something. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably not worth dwelling on too much. It's not the most unplayable card ever, but
yeah, that's true. It's not the most unplayable card ever, but it's also
it's like
not
a 4.
That's a 4. Is there something else? Mufasa we had. No, I think that was it. Yeah.
You want to say anything about the
Vision of the Future?
Yeah.
Vision of the Future, where is it? I think this is significantly worse than Develop.
Yeah.
Because it's a weird cost for this card. Because turn 2 is really stacked in this Sapphire decks. Because you play this in a control deck. If you don't play this in another deck.
Yeah, this is certainly.
I don't see the spot.
Taking your turn 2 off is it's not just taking a turn 2 off from starting to establish a board, it's also a lot of the time taking turn 2 off from ramping, which is
Yeah.
super important. Obviously, this isn't something you always have to play on turn 2. You're probably more comfortable playing it late and finding something you need, but
Yeah.
then yeah, it's way harder to squeeze 2 in than the 1 of develop, isn't it? To a lot of these curves.
I mean, for example, if you would play a deck and you find only 56 cards that you really like, then it's a cool addition 4 times. But the decks are so stacked and you don't find place for other cards that I don't think this is a good 59th or 60th card, but
Yeah,
I don't see it.
you play it as a fun little one-off, and then you enjoy
Yeah.
it when you see it.
So it's borderline not playable, I think. What did you say? One of you cottage? What's cottage?
Oh, Merlin's cottage. It's the location, blue location.
You could. This is interesting. This is playable, I think. I mean, it maybe not now, but this could be playable in the future. That's true.
Enlighten me. What are we doing with this? What are we doing with this information?
We play all this Bruno stuff. This I know what my most top card of my deck is.
Okay.
Like Mufasa, like the Bruno Madrigal, like such cards. I don't know if
sounds like a 3-color deck.
But if there exists, or this combined with the Sorcerer's Head is draw 1 each turn.
Yeah, sure.
But I don't know if it's right now it's not playable, but I could see some future.
I'm not interested in doing any of the things you just described, but sure, I can see how it works.
Yeah, me neither. So, but I guess that's it. What was this queen again? Something stupid. La Reine. It was this. Get your queens into your hand. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those name support.
In Germany, we say "Hör mal auf." Nothing to talk about. So we have the last color, and I can spoiler. The last color will have a 10 out of 10.
We must be forgetting something that we've overlooked in these other ones. Maybe there's just nothing.
First of all, we have this Arthur. Arthur is here, and he's not bad. I don't know if he finds a home, and that could be his problem, but it's probably not good enough. Oh, Cyber Ninja. Really? You say this? Why is this the answer to Pete? I don't get the what has this to do with Pete? Do I get something? Do I miss something? LD, do you get it? Why this is the answer to Pete?
I don't understand. No.
It's not an action to get rid of character. Ah, okay.
Yeah, so the turn after they Pete and you need to remove something. Yeah, you're going to be able to hit anything. Yeah, okay, I see that.
Okay. What's cool about this card I overlooked at first sight is that if you shift it, you can choose himself.
Yep. And take out pretty much anything.
This is most of the time a 2-for-1. That's the cool thing about this card.
Yeah.
He will compare this maybe to Big Cindy. But I guess this is better than Big Cindy. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Ooh, yeah, but I mean,
No, it's hard
in
to
a deck
say.
full of in a deck full of songs, Big Cindy's better.
Problem is we have no good shift targets for this. Do we? We have no good shift targets.
Yeah, well, that was the next question: is what is there in this set? Because if there isn't anything good in this set, there's nothing good
No.
before.
I guess it's not good enough. That's my feeling.
I'm not very excited by this. Like this was sort of 5 sort of range for me.
Ramp from
Like
3 to
5,
5
6.
to 7 with Donald. Yeah, you don't have to shift. That's clear. Yeah. But then you need another character. That's yeah.
Yeah, and you get to pay the full 7. It's not a bad card. It
It's
does
not a bad card, but
a thing sometimes.
My feeling is that it doesn't make the cut.
Yeah, this is it. We keep saying this about a bunch of cards. It's not that bad, but like, if we're saying that, it's never getting a slot in these decks, especially not when it's fighting for an uninkable slot.
Decandio, what does this mean? Who's this face target?
Arthur. He either hates it or loves it. I would go with the first option.
I go for it's playable 6. I'm.
It's a 5 for me.
Okay, it's a 5. 5 did work, 6 didn't work. So this is the Arthur. This location was kind of interesting. It's the first.
Oh, yeah, the
it's the
dwarfs one.
first. It's bad. Yeah.
I kind of like this. I love that it
I
has
like
a lore
this.
pip on it.
I like this. Yeah.
This is the kind of location that, in the past, has not had a lore pip and has been unplayable because of that. But this
yeah,
is way better.
and this is one of the first locations that really does something when you move there. So, for example, that's not a bad card because it has decent stats. I mean, this is the same stats that the vanilla location.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah, I'm happy to give this
it's
a 6.
hard to find. Yeah, it's again hard to find a spot for this, but so this is a good one. The next one, the dog. Dog is good.
Do you like this?
I think this is decent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see myself playing a Perdita as my last card in hand and returning in one of these and drawing 2 and recurring and.
But is here too? It's not like if you play a deck where this card is good, then I really think he's a 4.
Yeah.
Because you play this in a deck like you empty your hand, and then play this. No.
It's a May effect, which is great for the times when you'll need to just run this out on turn 2 as a miserable 1/3.
Yeah.
Which is going to happen.
This is of course playable, I think. Of course, he needs a home. He's not. You just don't put this in every steel deck, but it's a decent effect. It's a decent card.
Yeah, I mean, rather than, let's say, that Red Robin Hood where you were filling your discard with stuff from your deck and that gets you thinking about cards like Kristoff, with a card like this, I'm just looking to discard as few as possible and refill in some sort of reasonably aggressive build. But yeah, sometimes you'll be able to. There may be some cool things to do where you can discard relevant stuff.
Yeah. Where's the Kronk? Kronk.
Oh, you hate Kronk.
During a turn, whenever this. It is so bad. Oh my god. The
I
thing
like
is,
this card so much more than you do.
Oh, come on. This is so bad. What? No.
I don't think it. Look, I'm not. This isn't. I'm not gonna say this is great. This is like a 6 to me, again. But it's
Wow.
not as bad. It's not as. I don't. I don't feel as strongly about it as you do. I see a world where I shift this on top of the 2-cost Kronk, and then sometimes I play a Rapunzel. I trade into something. I play a Rapunzel for free, and I have a Rapunzel with a 6/6 in play and drew 3 cards. Sometimes I put a Chempo in play or a Mufasa. You don't like this card in like a Steel Fasa type deck?
I can see
No,
this.
you don't. You
What
hate
did
it.
you say? I just was in what did you say?
You went to a zone. Your brain completely turned off. You can't even read this text and remain awake.
Kronk Naveen Wheel. Oh, come on. No, not Kronk Naveen Wheel.
The Kronk Naveen wheel deck doesn't have a lot of room for other uninkable cards.
No. I mean, this is such a terrible turn 7. Oh my gosh, play. So you really need to shift it, and I
Yeah,
think there's
okay.
only one garbage 2-drop, and even then you need to banish a character, and then you need another character with cost 5 that's really good on your hand, where you can just play on turn 5 a really good card.
Yeah, imagine if it had a more realistic condition, like have 5 characters in play.
Then it would be good, yeah.
Then it would be playable.
Okay, you say it's a 6. I give it a 5
It's
because I'm
yeah,
nice today.
I'm convinced. I'm convinced to go down. It's a 5.
Okay, next one is we can talk about this little Kronk. This is better than the big one.
That's just cruel.
I think this is not super bad, but yeah, not worth talking about.
I like 2-drops with 4.
This one is really
willpower.
good. The next one, this one is really good. Trust me when I say this. This one is a really good aggressive character.
I'm glad you say that because I looked at this and I haven't talked to anyone about it, but I thought this has to be great, right?
This is great. You know what? It exists no 1-drop that can trade this. No one.
No.
Not except this Ruby cat like 3/1.
Oh, Felicia.
Yeah. But other than that, it's super good. Really, this is a super. If you want to build an aggressive steel deck, this is the first card. This is the first 1-drop you add, I think. What do you want more?
Daisy.
Yeah, okay.
And then we play Amber Steel.
Yeah, Amber
Deck's
Steel.
locked.
Yeah. This is. I think.
No,
this
this is good though. I completely agree. This is a really cool card.
The tool health is really much. This is doesn't die to grab your sword even, and this is really good. I think
you can play this into a turn 1. If your opponent plays turn 1 Cinderella,
Rupi,
you
you're
can
right.
play this.
Rafiki can trade this. That's true. That's fair.
Oh
yeah.
Boo! Unplayable now.
No, it's still playable. It's really good.
I like that you can run this into a turn 1 Cinderella without having to worry about it getting killed by Storm.
That's really cool, yeah.
I don't know where you go from there, but it doesn't die. It doesn't die on turn 2.
I mean, you can quest with this most likely 2-3 times. Imagine you play this, then opponent plays a 2-drop with 2 strength, like Flynn or something. Even that doesn't kill it, and yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I think
for me it's a 7. For me, it's a 7.
Yeah, I agree. I'd give it a 7. In decks like Purple Steel as well, really good body for targeting with like early crab and stuff. to have a cost something that low with
People-
any form of resist.
People writing here in broom decks that you can shift the big Mickey. But I don't know about this, but
No, it's better than
Yeah.
the other Mickey targets if you're
Yeah.
trying to do that.
yeah. So
Yeah, I actually really like it.
yeah.
I wonder if people are talking about it for Purple Steel at all.
What's this Namari doing? What's this again?
This costs 2 less for each of your
Damage count?
opponent's characters that you banished in a challenge this turn.
Oof.
So pretty hard to
Oh.
make it cost any less than 7.
Resist 3 is crazy though.
Resist
But,
3 is really crazy. You play it against some steel decks, it can't die, but it's also you probably died before you got a chance to play it.
I think this is not playable. A resist 3 is crazy.
Yeah,
But
Resist 3 is really big.
I would put her on 5 now.
Yeah, it's a 4. I don't see.
And then we are in the 10 out of 10 card, and I think it's not even close. This is the best card in the set for me. You cannot convince me that it's not.
It's such a slam dunk 10. It's
crazy.
just an incredible card that's going to change the way that we play the game. It will change the way you have to think about a bunch of matchups.
This is the definition of a meta-defining card.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the crazy thing about this card is if he would be uninkable and would be a 2/2, it would be fair. But like this, it's a decent. I mean, if you play against an aggro deck that doesn't play much actions, you can play this on turn 3 and it's okay. It can trade okayish against their characters. So it's still a decent body on turn 3. That's crazy. I mean, would you play? I mean, even if a card that there was a card in Yu-Gi-Oh that was like this, was just a spell. Your opponent can't play spells till your next turn. Even that would be maybe playable if it would be no character, just a 3-cost playable spell that just says your opponent can play actions during the next turn. And this is way better. Yeah.
If it was a song or something, it would definitely be in consideration for playable.
Yeah.
I think for me, like the thing that really pushes this over the edge, like you say, you know, we both played tons of green purple in set 3, and a lot of the time in that deck you just ran out crabs on turn 3 sometimes, because on turn 3 a 3/3 is actually pretty good a lot of the time. Just having that in play achieves quite a lot. This body is like really relevant and is gonna, you can run, like you say, you can run this out on turn 3 after going 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop, it's good. You can play it turn 6 to prevent the turn 7 be prepared. It's going to reward knowledge of the format and of the game in general, because the different ways that you time playing this card will vary from matchup to matchup, and it's sort of like, rather than just having a really high power level in a vacuum, it also to some degree rewards your knowledge of what your opponent's up to and what you're likely to get hit by. It does a similar job to the 2-cost Ursula, except it covers all of the ways that she fails. So when you think, I'm such a genius, I just held my Ursula for turn 6 against red purple, I'm about to snipe their, be prepared, ha 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 ha, I'm going to win the game. And then you look at their hand and they've drawn 2 of them. This doesn't care about that. It's so good. This is such a good card.
I think if you want to play Steel Song in the next format, then you are really afraid of this card, because this card can make your whole turn just you said you're setting a wheel turn and then opponent playing this, and you just think, what
Yep.
am I doing with my life now? That's just crazy.
Yeah. Completely.
Maybe I talked about it with some people. Maybe this card gets bad because it's so broken, because all decks are adjusting and playing less actions just to avoid it. I'm
Yeah.
thinking about something like all red purples play Big Sisu instead of Be Prepared, and
Yeah.
and then he suddenly becomes bad. Not bad, but yeah, has not much
I mean,
uses.
it's hard to imagine people not having to adapt like that in some way.
Yeah,
We're already seeing red purples splitting between Be Prepared. Well, a
yeah,
lot of them are playing 4 Be Prepared plus some number of Sisu. That
yeah,
balance probably changes a little bit after a while of playing into this. And I think the thing that excites me most about this, because this is kind of like, I don't know. Some people will find this card exciting. Some people will find it scary. Some people will find it boring but powerful. I fall into like the excited camp, because the game has been so defined by these big, impactful actions that have been really hard to interact with. We've had limited ways to interact with them, like Be Prepared and Whole New World. The inevitability and ability to do some of those on key turns defines how a bunch of meta decks play, and just having this catch-all way of disrupting that has like the potential to bring about real change for the game, that I think would be super cool.
yeah. I think I'm also in the meanwhile I'm also excited about. At first, I thought, okay, this is too strong. It will become a boring format, but you can adapt to this. And
Yeah.
imagine I'm always a little bit biased about green purple and think, yeah, this card I don't care too much in green purple, for example. There are some decks that doesn't care too much about this card, and I think that makes it
Yes.
fair. That makes it kind of fair, because you always think about Be Prepared and Wheel when you see this card, and there he shines. But there are, or Mufasa or something, or Hyper Aggro. There are some decks that this card doesn't shine, and that makes it fair for me.
Yeah. Completely.
Yeah. What does the chat say?
JTHD says, why isn't it Emerald? I agree.
Yeah.
It should be playable in green purple.
Hey, Django Chain. Yeah, why is this steel? Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, it's emerald or steel. I think that fits the
This
fits it the most.
continues the long tradition of steel cards being the best answer to steel
Yeah,
cards.
that's true. Steel have resist.
We're never
and steel-
breaking that. Steel is the counter to steel.
Yeah, but it's a 10 out of 10. That's no
Yeah, it is a
question.
10. It's an interesting point. The Bucky errata, the main drive. I mean, obviously, massively represented deck, crazy powerful. But one of the big complaints about it being just, well, this deck doesn't let me play my cards, and then you print a card like Pete, which obviously was agreed. The design was probably set in stone months ago, but this is another thing that will be in lots of decks that stops you playing your cards, that will lead to some bad feelings for some players. I think it'll be way less so than Bucky, but some people will still not enjoy that.
I think he could be the card that hates some decks out of the meta. That could be.
Yeah.
That's what Bucky did as well. So I kind of understand the comparison, but yeah. The Simba is also really good.
Yeah, I like it.
When he enters play, you can banish chosen location or no item or location. Is it? I think it's item or location. No, is it only item? Chat, help us.
I think it's item or location, right?
Yeah, it's item or location, is it?
It's
Yeah.
the same as Cusco.
Mm. Yeah, I think it's item or location. Pretty sure. And then it's really good. Yeah. Oh, Cusco, we missed Cusco.
Yeah, we didn't do Cusco.
Yeah,
That's why
same as
Sailor's
Cusco.
gone quiet. We upset him.
Yeah, it's what Steel needed. I mean, it's the same card nearly as Cusco. Where is Cusco? Ah, here. Some people say Cusco is better. Some people say Simba is better. It's hard to say, but you have only the choice in Sapphire Steel. So if not Sapphire Steel, you play one of those, most likely.
Mhm.
And they could be the reason why locations could be in a really tough spot in the new set. And that's why I think I will start with no locations built at first, because if you sometimes get a Queen's Castle against you and you think this card is overpowered, if you play with Queen's Castle yourself, it's really tough. It gets tougher and tougher to find spots to play it, because all people are playing Hercules and such stuff. And if this card also exists, and the Simba too, nearly every deck has a solid answer to locations.
There are so many answers now, and the
Yeah.
answers are so flexible.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem, that it's a good answer. Rise of the Titans was okay-ish, but this is a solid body and has this effect. So you don't want this to get. You don't want this card to banish your Queen's Castle. You really don't want this.
I love, by the way, on this card that we have like an actual sink that we can just dump excess ink into when we have nothing else to do.
Yeah, you can
Like,
repeat
we
this.
haven't seen effects like
yeah,
that,
yeah,
really.
yeah. You can repeat this.
It's really cool.
Yeah, this is maybe overlooked because this could be decent in some situations against Steel or something.
Yeah, there'll be turns when you're late game against Steel decks and you just dump ink into this 3 times and give your whole board resist 3, and they just have to concede.
So I guess overall this card is a bit better than Simba. But yeah, it's comparable.
This is a 7, or this is pushing an 8. It's interesting that if all of these answers, if all these answers do lead to less locations being played, it will get way worse, obviously.
I think it's 8. For me, it's 8.
Yeah.
And Simba also, it's nearly the same card. Yeah, I put into 8.
Oh, Simba banishes them. They don't go to the Inkwell. Yeah, that's a good distinction.
I mean, the Lucky Dime.
So they can't Tamatoa it back.
Yeah, but Cusco does it
relevant.
into the Inkwell, so they get rammed by 1. So
yeah,
it's also a downside.
And they can Mufasa it back.
Oh yes.
You want to talk about this Jafar?
Oh, Jafar. Oh, that's
Jafar.
controversial. Where is he? With Jafar, Maleficent. Maleficent is after that. Where's Jafar? Ah, here. Why is he down here? Chat, please don't hate me, but I think this card is better than After the First Sight. Just explain me why. Let me explain why. Of course, it's bad against red, and you will ink it against red most of the time. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. But everything else, this effect is not irrelevant. So they most of the time cannot trade this. So this is really, really sticky. I think this is a bit better than it seems. I think it's not playable most likely, but I think this effect is overseen because you think, oh, this is 0-7. They just ran in with 2 characters, but they can't because yeah. But against red, this is really bad. Fox can't attack it. Maui needs to think twice. Yeah. It's not really good, but it's not playable. Yeah. What did I say?
I mean, I agree. It's a lot of people have completely written it off because it dies to Brawl, dies to Small Sisu. But as soon as your opponent isn't playing a Ruby deck, it can do stuff. But then again, takes you into
is
that.
Is it better than any other 6-drop? And
Exactly.
Tinkerbell,
I can think of a lot better things to do on 10-6, but it's not out and out. You know, this isn't a Gantu. This is.
It also protects other
better than a
characters of
Gantu.
yours, you know. If you have something you need to survive, like imagine you have a 3-lore Pinocchio that quests, and then they can't trade the Pinocchio. That they can't only challenge this knot, they can't challenge at all the opposing characters. But yeah. I think it's still not good enough. That I have to admit, but after first sight, I really thought it's worse. And this card is
another
also
one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
This card is better than people think. It's expensive, I know, but as soon as 2 of these, can you just listen?
I'm listening.
I'm thinking of effects that cheated out and and dice to Judy Hobbs. Yeah, okay. I think as soon as 2 of these hit the board, the game is, I wouldn't say over, but it's so annoying. I don't know if there's a deck that this can play, but there are not enough effects that can cheat it out. But this effect is strong. I think you underestimate this effect.
How much did the plasma gun from set 1 cost
plasma
to
gun is
activate?
way worse.
Did it cost 2 to activate?
Yeah, and 3 to play. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a good amount better than that.
I mean, the plasma gun, you can't really compare this. Plasma gun is so much worse.
It's a completely different card.
Yeah, this is an.
I was just trying to remember
investment,
if it cost 1 to activate.
After you did this investment, this is so much board control, but I'm afraid it's too expensive still.
Yeah. Because unfortunately at this stage where we have 5
card.
sets. Yeah,
what
we
does
have so much stuff that's almost there.
Real Pookie, what does FTF fix that for you? Okay. Thank you. I mean, it's a 5 for me. You can't get me less than 5. But people were saying in Twitter this is the worst card ever printed, and that's really not true.
No, it's not even close to the worst card ever printed. This, for starters, it doesn't say Mirabelle Madrigal on it. So it's not.
But Mirabelle Madrigal is inkable. Is there a good dwarf? I don't think so.
I looked at them. I think maybe Doc is the only
Yeah.
notable one. Are knights? Is knight a new subtype, by the way? Are there other knights? Are there any notable knights from past sets that we should be thinking about? I don't think there are.
I think all these
Oh,
girls,
Piglet.
these girl princesses, this Cinderella are knights, for example.
Okay, all right. There are lots of knights. I've just never read cards before.
The Stitch that deals 2 damage. No. No.
Is that a hard no or a soft no?
I don't know if it matters. Because
that's a good. Yeah, good
can,
point.
can be a card unplayable or unplayable.
Yeah.
I can't imagine of a deck where you think, oh, I put this in. Oh.
No.
Oh.
It depends how desperate you are. It depends how hard it becomes to deal 2 damage to something after Pete.
Yeah. Like Kill Diablo, yeah, but I tell you, Diablo will be way worse next format. I'm really sure about that.
I keep trying to find places like, where do I put this Diablo now? And it's tough.
It's tough, and
I don't know.
It's so slow. I just think we are done. Chat, is there any card we missed? This maybe. I think it's not good enough, but could be maybe playable. I think it was also one of the first cards revealed. What do you say about this?
Be pretty busted if it was a song.
Yeah.
You sung it with Maui.
Oh, it was Jafar.
Yeah.
I could in control mirrors maybe. I think it's too slow, to be honest.
I was talking about this with some people at the challenge in Bohom, and I was talking about the green steel versus red purple matchup, and we were just kind of coming to this realization that you just do nothing and draw cards. And I was like, this is the dream turn 5 for red purple in exactly that matchup.
Yeah, that's true.
Outside of that, I don't know.
Oh, someone mentioned it's a good Robin Hood hit. That's true. The red Robin Hood.
That's very true.
Archimedes.
Oh, we should look at the Archimedes. We need to look at the Archimedes.
Okay. Oh, that's really interesting because I really don't understand why anybody is talking about this really, really bad card. This is so bad. I don't know why people talking about this. Please explain me. Sorry, maybe I was too rude. I don't know why you should ever consider to play this. Sorry, I was too rude, I think. But this is.
I think let your feelings out.
No. Tell me why it's not.
I don't think it's amazing. I think it fills a role. It does a really similar thing to Elsa, but not as good.
Which Elsa?
The new one, the 5-cost one. But it's like it's trading with those kinds of things, but it's too slow. You have to shift it to do things with it. It's how you play it. It's not exerting anything.
The only thing I could ever consider this is if still a deck like a whole new world. Somebody said it. It's like Amethyst Steel mill deck or something exists, then it's a decent shift, whole new world line on turn 3.
Yeah, if you want those turn 3 for 5-cost songs, yeah.
The Enchanted is beautiful, that's true. Chat, that's true.
The Enchanted is like incredible. Such a beautiful card.
But the problem is for me, Challenger Evasive doesn't fit together very good for me. Because Evasive is, for me, most of the time for questing. And then it's weird. And then, yeah, I don't know. Dice to Human Sisu.
Dice to Human Sisu. Human Sisu's back.
Yeah, Robin Hood line does the same, that's true. And Robin Hood is way
Yeah.
better. It's way better. It's not even close.
What rarity is this card, by the way?
I think it's uncommon. Can't see it right now.
Man, they've got to
Yeah,
stop
it's
making enchanted uncommons.
Yeah, it's uncommon. So
Or at least make them like Pete.
oh, the turtle. That's at least I want to talk about it. I think it's not good enough, but I like this card. Because it's the first Merlin that's 2-lore, and bouncing 2-lore is not bad, but the effect is not strong. It's look at the top 2 cards when he leaves and when he enters, and it's the cauldron effect when he leaves and when he enters.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it's not strong enough. I don't know
Doesn't
how.
give you any cards.
I think it's hard to how can you say that, to figure out the power of such scry effects. It's for me it's really hard to figure out how good the draw quality potential is. But I guess it's not good enough.
I mean, again, it's a 4-cost Amethyst card that's like at least there's probably at least 6 things fighting for that slot that are better.
Yeah, that's the most problem. I think this Minnie Mouse was not very bad.
Did we do the 1-cost Clarabelle? That's an interesting card for shifting.
Green. Where is she? That's the 3-cost. Here. It's kicker. So it's when you play it, pay 2 to banish an item.
I thought in my head this had like you could pay 2 to banish an item just as a static ability. You could just do it whenever you wanted, which would actually be pretty sick. That would be kind of amazing.
No, that would be really amazing. But this only when she enters play.
Okay.
I don't know. Steel Hey. Steel Hey. I think this will not make the cut. I don't know.
It's sad some of the things that won't make the cut this set because there's a ton of really cool stuff that's like almost there.
I think that the 3-cost Clarabelle is way better. This one.
Yeah. This one is.
Yeah.
This one's good.
More
cards that reward you for going first.
Steel Hey. Why do you want to talk about this card?
Good art.
Yeah, but it's not think that's the worst 1-drop you can play on turn 1. It's so bad. Wow, that's not good. You don't want to play this Clarabelle on turn 1. You want to play Pegasus or Merfolk or something.
Yeah, this is worse than Chempo pretty much always.
Yeah.
Chempo is a fantastic card.
People are high on this, really? Why are people high on this? Because it has too low, or why? Chempo is better. Animal haters confirmed. Yeah.
Yeah, when the breakpoint for comparison between two cards is like one dies to Maui, one doesn't die to Maui.
Yeah.
One of them is a lot better than the other.
No, there was a Minnie Mouse, I think was not bad. Ruby. Dies to be prepared. Oh, we didn't talk about Maximus. That's a good card.
No, we didn't.
That's a really good card. So if you play this, at the end of your turn, if you have a character with 5 or more strength in play, you get 2 lore. And if you have one with 10 or more strength, you get 5 lore. No, is it in the end of turn or beginning?
I think it's the end of turn because this one is different to Flynn.
Yeah. That's not bad. That's really not
You're going to get this.
Yeah.
You're going to get at least one activation if you play this with a Maui sitting around, right away.
Does support work with this? I think it does. It gets
because that persists till the end of your turn.
Yeah. And you can do it with the bag thing. I think both go into the bag and then you decide which triggers first. I think this is good.
Well, there must be a
it's hard. It's also a niche deck. I think you want to play this. Oh, sorry. What did you say?
I was just going to say, thinking about like the actual structure of a turn and how these things there must be like a cleanup step at the end of the turn that happens after the stage where end of your turn effects happen, where things like the strength added by support goes away. I think the strength added by support will always be there when this thing, quote unquote, triggers.
I think this was pretty decent, but maybe not good enough. Nah. Forget it, Shikan is just better. Forget it.
It's already forgotten.
I know when Shikan was revealed, I thought this is so busted, but he's so bad.
Best card ever.
Yeah.
That's what I thought about Super Goof.
Yeah, Super Goof. So, chat, I think we're finished. Yeah, only 110.
I think that's fair. I think there is only 110. Pete has to be. There has to be in some way. Pete has to stand above the rest of the cards in the set. But I'm pretty happy with what we've got here.
Yeah, I think 9 is also reasonable. 8. Yeah, you could argue about some cards. Maybe the Wreck-It Ralph is worse.
Yeah, I was going to say, looking at him there now, he's not. I don't know. I changed my mind now.
But he's just very, very strong. I think it's okay.
The Amethyst card in 9 is Elsa.
Yeah. Mim,
I love that. I love that elephant.
I think Mim is not worse. For me personally, this Mickey is also higher than 7.
Yeah, I think so too. Also, that Cogsworth's higher than 7.
Yeah.
9.
Well, 9 is 9 is much. Probably this is also higher than 7 Hideaway.
Yes. We've got a few 7s that should be 8s and a couple 8s that should be 7s.
Yeah.
But we didn't do too badly.
No, it was okay. This is probably nah, I think it was okay. It was